Well, howdy. Welcome to Spookus and the Frid. God, this is loud. I love this music, but I don't know why it's so loud. Spookus. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. I am tired, but had a 4-hour drive today to get back from home to current location. At which point I was like, you know what I should do? I should completely make over my stream setup. So I did that. And then I was like, well, if I'm gonna completely make over my stream background, I suppose I should probably, stream. Being a woman in STEM. Just got a Chrome extension to make Twitch work in a split screen setup. Nice. A place I put the follower goal to sort of overlap with chat. Let's move that up here. There we go. So yeah, welcome to the new background for the next month or so. For the rest of October, and then however long it takes me to decide to take it down. It really is. I just pushed buttons until it did what I wanted it to. Yep. That's basically what stemming is, in my experience. Sometimes those buttons are little clicky things on a breadboard. Sometimes they're clickable objects on a screen. And sometimes it's just your keyboard. But it really is just pressing buttons until it does what you want it to do. Okay, camera delay's not too bad tonight. I think it's just bad enough to be a little noticeable. If I remember right, I actually listened to a podcast on this and it was like, what soda stream flavor do we have tonight? Cherry cola for tonight. I want to say it's like 250 milliseconds is the amount of time there has to be between video and audio, or between audio and video, before you notice it. And I think if I remember right, it's easier to notice if you see if the video is ahead of the audio as opposed to the other way around. I think that's right. Need some vanilla Coke, I miss it. Heavy on the vanilla Coke. My go-to flavor, whenever I get, the Coke Freestyle machine, my go-to flavor has always been cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper. I enjoy it. But, I digress. Because we're not here tonight to talk about, well, I mean, I guess we are here to talk about spooky things. We're not here to talk about soda streams and pressing buttons and vanilla Coke. We're here to solve another case. So, Case 3, The Origins of Horus. This is a new person. It's Miriam. That's a new person. But, Episode 3, The Origins of Horus. I'm sorry, Tyrion. There were so many things that I wanted to tell you. So many things that I wanted to show you. But I'm afraid that I can't do that now. I need you to be strong now. This world is bleak, merciless, and unforgiving. But I've seen you. I know how bright the light within you is. Use my eyes. Peer beyond the divine gate as I once did. Use it to reclaim the future. Episode 3, The Origins of Horus. Preposterous. Completely and utterly preposterous. Something wrong, Lord Von Sanctus? You filthy rat! You cheated, didn't you? That's right, you're just a cheat and a charlatan. Do you have any evidence to prove that ridiculous claim? I mastered chess before you could crawl out of whatever rat hole you came from. Do you honestly expect anyone to believe that you could defeat me? Honestly, I'm just as disappointed as you are. I was expecting more of a challenge from House von Sanctus. But I suppose all the gold in the world can't buy you a modicum of skill. You little upstart, I'll... Him? Von Sanctus's acquaintance clears his throat and gestures subtly to the crowd of spectators. Everyone's attention is on him, and you can see the crowd muttering amongst themselves. His undignified behavior probably isn't doing any favors for his public image. Realizing himself, he tries to regain his composure. It's preposterous. He walks away, muttering the word preposterous under his breath a few more times. Sounds like he's trying to reassure himself more than anyone else. So that was something. Yeah, I knew that he'd get angry, but I didn't expect to make a scene like that. Well, you did insult him. Not to say that he didn't deserve it. Come on, I love seeing these conceited nobles lose their minds when I beat them. It's half the fun of playing these tournaments. Wow, where's this confidence when we're in the courthouse? Court cases are different. I have to deal with real-world elements during a trial, and that includes Prosecutor Steelwind. Prosecutor Steelwind, huh? Wonder if she plays chess. Now there's a thought. I wonder if she'd be willing to play against you sometime. She can't be any worse than these pampered nobles. Anyways, we should celebrate somewhere in town. Even if he was a pushover, he just beat one of the top-ranked chess players in the kingdom. To be honest, you had your reservations about returning to the city of Oranax. If you weren't facing one of the four pillars, you would never come back here. You'd rather leave the city as soon as possible. I saw a cafe while we were walking around. The food smelled great. I'd really like to go there. We could always go to one of the cafes in the capital. There are plenty of places to choose from there. Trust me, I've traveled around the world. There's nothing better than food from a thriving port city. Alright, I suppose there's no harm in staying a little longer. She does have a point. The city streets seem livelier than when you last saw them. You see a lot of businesses that weren't here before. They all seem to be very well off. Despite being a port city, Oranax used to look like a ghost town. Has the local nobility been investing in the city? You find that possibility very hard to believe. You arrive at the cafe that Celeste told you about. As you enter, you're struck by a powerful aroma of freshly baked pastries and coffee. The scent of the baked goods swirls around you. You take a moment to inhale the enticing smells. You have to admit that it's making you very hungry. So, you seek to enter the domain of the Deathbringer songstress. Well, if glory is what you seek, then look no further. For you stand before Mosrika Tudor, Dark Lord of Oranax. As you head further into the cafe, you're approached by a familiar face. Mosrika Tudor. Rika, is that you? Ha! Appears that my reputation precedes me. How good of you to... Wait, you're... Tyrion? You're back! Hi. Yeah. Why didn't you tell anyone that you were back in town? Do you have any idea how worried we've all been? Do you two know each other? Right. Celeste, this is Masterika Tudor. I was friends with her when I lived here many years ago. Wait, you used to live here? Yeah, Oranax is actually the town I grew up in. What? But we were in such a hurry to leave before. Oof. You came here to eat, right? If you're still hungry, I can bring you some of our best dishes on the house. No, I couldn't possibly. Come on, don't be like that. It's been years since I've seen you, and you know how good my food is. Okay, but only for a little while. Rika sets a table for the three of you and calls over a waiter. You all place your orders. Now tell me everything. I want to know all about what you've been doing since you left. Celeste. So you're going to introduce us? Right. This is Celeste McCoy. She's my bodyguard. Bodyguard? And Celeste, this is... Ha! As if I need such introductions. I'm Masorika Tudor, Dark Lord of Oranox, High Archmagi of the Cadmium Flames, and proud proprietor of this cafe. Oh, okay. I was friends with her when I used to live here. She's a little eccentric, but she's a good person at heart. Hey! She's also a common folk mage like you. Ah! So you come from the same humble beginnings that I do? What spells have you mastered? I haven't really mastered any of them. I know about 7 spells, though. 7? It's almost 4 times the amount that I know. She's learned even more spells? She's been picking them up rather quickly. I've been usurped. Tyrion. Look at you, Mr. Big Shot. You're wearing a suit now, and you even have a bodyguard. Did you get an office job in the big city? Something like that. I'm actually a defense attorney now. Defense attorney? I see. Is that why you left town with that scary lady? Scary lady? Are you talking about Ruby? Miss Tamora adopted me when my mother passed several years ago. After that, she began training me to become an attorney like her. Wait, you've been studying to be an attorney since you were a kid? Well, I guess that explains why you're so young for a lawyer, said the 19-year-old mercenary. Yeah, I guess you got me there. Let's examine things. You like it? I commissioned a local carpenter to have my tables custom made. It was probably worth it. They fit with the humble and rustic vibe you got going on. Shelf full of drinks, mugs, and sugar behind the restaurant counter. This must be where Rika's employees prepare coffee to be served. Seems to have decorated the entire cafe with several plants and flowers. Greens add a fresh, earthy ambience to the restaurant. There's some barrels stacked in the corner here. I wonder what's inside. Wait, Rika, you wouldn't happen to have lotus juice, do you? Lotus juice? What's that? Never mind. What happened to the lotus juice that you received from Miriam? I drank all of it. Already? It hasn't even been a month. Cafe. Are you the owner of this cafe, Rika? You always spoke about opening one when we were kids. Yep, and it's all thanks to the Dracogen Trading Company. The company's owner invested in my business after trying my food. Because of him, I was able to open up here, just like I've always dreamed. Dracogen Trading Company, I don't think I've heard of them. They're pretty small right now, and they're only operating in Oranex. But I hear they're planning to expand their operations throughout Wavengard. I would have thought that Lord Von Sanctus would have weeded out any competition. After all, he owns one of the largest businesses in the kingdom. Lord Von Sanctus, isn't he that pompous noble that I beat in the chess tournament this morning? Wait, that was you? I didn't even know he was a businessman. Von Sanctus Industries invented those arcane constructs that we saw in the Imperial Academy. How do you not know about these things? You practically fight against nobles for a living. Maybe you should start reading more about national politics. Oranex City. Is it just me, or does the city look less depressing than before? Oh, right. You left the city before the new merchants appeared. New merchants? Like from a merchant's guild? Yeah, the Dracogen Trading Company was one of the first ones. They started operating here and brought the Arcane Refinery a few years ago. After that, merchants from all over Wavengard started coming here. Well, being based in a port city would definitely give them an edge, and their presence has really helped the city's economy. They are owned by the nobility, and they pay their employees a lot more than Von Sanctus does. It's really improved the quality of life for the people here. I doubt Von Sanctus appreciates the competition, though. There's even talk about forming employee-run unions. Oh, Von Sanctus definitely won't appreciate that. Chess tournament. So, you still play chess? Yeah, I'm nationally ranked, too. I heard that an upstart commoner defeated Lord Sanctus at a tournament this morning, but I had no idea they were talking about you. An upstart commoner? The name suits you, Tyrion. Hey, do you still do that thing when you play? No. What thing? Nothing. She's not talking about anything. Wait, you're actually embarrassed about it? When you were kids, you did even more than I did. What did he used to do? Why don't you show her, Tyrion? I'd rather not. Come on, show us, Tyrion. Oh no, there's nowhere to go. Look at this. What do you think about this, Rika? Speaking about such things would be beneath me. In other words, she has nothing to say about it. I think I'm a little too old for this. You're never too old to tap in the Uranetsuni. Do it, Tyrion! Yeah, do it! Two of them begin chanting, trying to pressure you. It draws the attention of the other patrons in the cafe. They don't seem to care about the confused looks they're getting. It seems you don't have a choice. You're taking a deep breath. Those who stand in the shadows, those who fear the light of divinity, your imperials will fall and your armies will perish. Kneel and cower before the divine gaze of the Eye of Horus. They're trying their hardest to contain their laughter. Well, that's why I don't do it anymore. No, that was great. It was really cool, Tyrion. Poorly contained laughs are coming out between each word. And why are you laughing? You were just doing it a moment ago. Yeah, but she owns it. You used to say something else before, too. I won't let anyone stand in my way, even if they're a man, king, or god. Yeah, that's it. He still says that sometimes. Oh, looks like our order is here. The waiter brings in the lunch special for each of you. The enticing aroma of the meals makes you salivate a little. You gladly devour the meal. Rika's cooking is just as delicious as you remembered. Spend some more time catching up with her while you finish your meal. As your conversation continues, you and Celeste regale her with stories of your past court cases. No, really? Yep, turned out it was the headmaster the entire time. Wow, I would have never figured that out. How did you know, Tyrion? Maybe he saw it with his eye of Horus. You nearly choke on your drink before you realize what she's actually referring to. But wow, I can't believe it. I never thought court cases could be that dramatic. You finish your meal as you just tell Rika more about your cases. It's nice being able to talk with her again. You tried so hard to leave everything behind you after what happened, but you're happy that she seems to be doing well. Well, it's been nice catching up with you, Rika, but I think it's time for us to get going. What? But we just got here. It's okay, I'm sure you're pretty busy nowadays. I won't keep you any longer. But be sure it's alright, okay? Don't just go and disappear like last time. Yeah, I'll stay in touch. You'd better. You exit the cafe and make your way to the local merchant's guild to rent a carriage. Oh, excuse me. Give and take. I have not seen those emojis before. Emotes before, Teach. It's still difficult to make your way through them. Hey, Tyrion? Yeah? Celeste is fidgeting with her hands. She looks like she wants to say something, but every time she starts to speak, she quickly stops herself. This happens a few more times before she seems to give up. Never mind, it's nothing. Okay? You both continue to walk silently as you make your way to the Merchant's Guild. As you make your way there, the streets become more and more crowded. You hope the traffic won't interfere with the ride home. Hi, could we rent a carriage for travel to Rotholm? Sorry, but travel outside of the city is temporarily closed. What? Why? Haven't you heard? The Knights of the King's Guard have locked down the city. They set up a blockade and everything. Check the city gates if you don't believe me. As you arrive at the city gates, you see the blockade that the merchant was talking about. A crowd of disgruntled townsfolk are angrily shouting at the knights stationed there. This is outrageous! How long do you plan on keeping us here? Sorry, but we have our orders. We can't let anyone outside of the city until our investigation is complete. There's an investigation? Did something happen? Can you at least tell us what's going on? Why is the entire city being blockaded? Sorry, sir. We're not allowed to release that information. I'll just have to make other arrangements while we sort this out. Actually, I haven't seen you two around before. I'll need to take down your names and occupations for our records. What? Why? It's fine, Celeste. We're better off just cooperating with them. It's an invasion of privacy, but we'd rather not resist orders from the King's Guard. I'm Tyrion Cuthbert. I'm a defense attorney. Fine. Celeste McCoy, bodyguard. Thanks. Look over to the other King's Guard. They seem to be taking notes of the people here, too. They must be making a list of everyone inside the city. Teach, we don't do that here. But for what reason? I have an important engagement tomorrow. What am I supposed to do now? This can't possibly be legal. The townsfolk continue shouting at the knights, but it's clear they won't be budging anytime soon. What do we do now? You notice that it's starting to get late. We don't know how long the city will be blockaded. We should find a place to stay overnight just in case. You walk into a nearby tavern and see it's absolutely crowded with patrons. Huh. Funny how similar this looks to the McCoy Tavern. Looks like everyone else had the same idea. Alright, welcome to the Egwin Tavern. What can I do for you? Could we get 2 rooms for the night? Sorry, I can't even spare 1 room. Completely full with the blockade and all. Wait, let me take care of this. Celeste takes out a large pouch of gold and plops on the innkeeper's desk. Oh, would you look at that? One of our rooms just opened up. Only one? Okay, the entire city's locked down. Even with your gold, that's the best I can do for you. What, embarrassed to share a room with me, Tyrion? No, it's just... You realize she's just teasing you like she usually does. Best not to give it any mind. Well, it's better than nothing. Is that Bob Ross wielding magic power? So, how should we... Oh, I was just kidding before. You can have the bed, I'll just sleep on the floor. But I can't just let you... Please, we may both be commoners, but you live a cushy life in the city. I'm a mercenary. I've lived on the road for years. I sleep like this all the time. Just got you there. Alright, but let me know tell me if you change your mind. Yeah. Bob Fireball Rice. Me with my epic virgin emotes, hype train contributing emotes. Hey, I didn't see you there. I was just walked past him. Well, what? Hey, watch it! Quit shoving me! Wait, whoa! Holy crap, pull me up! I can't hold on for much longer! Ah, you idiot, what are you doing? But what? Grab his arm and pull him up. Ah! My hand! What the hell are you doing? Your grip is too tight. Stop that. Ah! But wait, I can still... No. No, no, no! What happened? I should have been able to... By the scaled lord, he fell in. No, I can use this. That's right, I can still make this look like it was all his fault. You find yourself falling into a nightmare. Tyrion, I'm so sorry. I can't believe they made you watch. Are you okay? Right, of course not. Are you going to keep fighting them? Your voice is quiet. Your question barely comes out as a whisper. What? Are you going to keep fighting the nobility? I don't know if I can anymore. Today they showed me what they're truly capable of. I was naive. I thought the truth would prevail, but I'm only one person. I can't do this alone anymore. So you're just going to give up? You're the only one who will fight against them. If you're just going to give up, then... Was my mother's death truly pointless? I'm sorry. Teach me how to be like you. What? You said that you can't do this alone anymore, right? So teach me how to be a defense attorney. I can help you. We can fight them together. Tyrion, you're just a child. I can't just... Miss Tamora, please! I don't have anything left. Please, just take me away from here. Clutch your hand tightly, feeling the fading warmth of the final message your mother left for you. It's the last comforting memory you'll have of her. It's a memory you'll never experience again. Mom. You're startled awake. After some confusion, you realize it was all a dream. You didn't have any trouble falling asleep, but your slumber was less than restful. It's been a while since you've remembered that day. All the more reason to leave this city as soon as possible. Celeste, are you up? Huh? Celeste was wistfully staring out the window, watching the rain. Her head whips towards you when she realizes that you're awake. Are you okay? What's wrong? Nothing. It's nothing. He wasn't awake, was he? She doesn't seem keen on sharing. It's best not to pry. Anyways, do you know if the city's still under lockdown? I haven't checked yet. I was waiting for you to wake up. Go outside and check the city gates. The blockade still hasn't disappeared. In fact, it looks like it's been fortified with even more knights. Looks like we can't leave yet. They've even doubled down on the guards. What's going on here? Tyrion! You spot her in the distance as she calls out to you. As soon as she sees you, she breaks down into a full sprint towards you. She looks exhausted. Has she been looking for you in the rain? Tyrion, it's terrible! There was an accident at the Arcane Refinery last night. One of my friends who worked there, he fell into a vat of chemicals. He's dead. Oh, Rika, I'm so sorry. If there's anything I can do... Lord von Sanctus is blaming the Dracogen Trading Company. He's trying to charge the owner with criminal negligence. As Lord of the region, von Sanctus would have a lot of leverage in a local battle like this. He must be using this accident as an opportunity to oust Dracogen from his territory. Tyrion, you're a lawyer, aren't you? Can you help them? I don't think I can. What? But... Rika, I specialize in homicide cases, and most of my clients are mages who have been charged with murder. I've never even tried a case like this before. There isn't any magic involved, and there's no killer. Don't worry, I'm sure the Dracogen Trading Company knows plenty of qualified attorneys who can help. I'm not so sure about that. Think about it. A lord from one of the four pillar families is pressing those charges. Do you honestly think anyone else will try to fight them on this? She has a point. There aren't many attorneys who will go against the nobility under any circumstances. The only ones who will do that are you and Miss Tamora. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Really? But please don't get your hopes up. I have very little information to work with right now. And to be perfectly honest, I'm really out of my element. It's okay. I'm sure that Mr. Dracogen will take any help he can get. Mr. Dracogen? He's the owner of the Dracogen Trading Company. He should be at the old Arcane Refinery right now. Must be the scene of the accident, too. It would probably be best to start your investigation there. I've been away from the shop for too long, so I can't come with you. But drop by the cafe if there's anything I can do to help. You follow Rika's directions and move through the city's industrial district. It reminds you of your childhood, back when you couldn't control the Eye of Horus. You've always avoided this part of the city. It was always covered with an overwhelming fog of misery and fatigue. However, you feel less of that, though. Is it because you have more control over your powers, or has something else changed? Alright, we're here. You arrive at the refinery and see there aren't many people around. The few people you do see appear to be from the City Watch. Operations must have been halted after the accident. Wow, so this is an arcane refinery. I always saw this place as a child, but I never really understood what they do here. Those machines refine the arcane crystals that are used in artificery. Those crystals are used as a power source for conducting magical energy. Look around and spot an especially frustrated individual. He seems to stand out from the knights and cleaning staff. Could he be the guildmaster Rika spoke of? He takes notice of you as you head further into the refinery. Hello there, you must be the attorney that Miss Tudor spoke of. I am. I take it you're the guildmaster of the Dracogen Trading Company? Yes. My name is Stefan the Dracogen. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. I really appreciate you lending your aid in this matter. I already told Rika this, but I've never tried a civil case before. I would need to learn more about what happened before I can decide whether or not I can represent you. I'm honestly not sure how much help I can be. Well, there isn't a single attorney in Ornox that will represent me, so I'll accept whatever help I can get. Celeste was right. All of the attorneys are too afraid to stand against Lord Von Sanctus. Where should we start, though? This case is probably different from the homicides that we're used to. Homicide or not, the case revolves around a wrongful death. If I did represent Dracogen, I would need to prove that he wasn't at fault for the accident. To do that, we should start by finding out exactly how and why the accident occurred. We should also question the witnesses who saw the victim when it happened. And it wouldn't hurt to take a look at the scene of the accident either. Guildmaster would have a lot of knowledge about the refinery's operations. Questioning him might also give you some insight into what happened. That filled with chemicals I can't quite identify. Metal stairs lead to the walkway above.
Repario Arcanum.
There are traces of transmutation magic on these parts of the vat. I'm honestly not quite sure how these vats even work. Perhaps transmutation magic is used in the refinement process somehow? There are traces of transmutation magic on this power box. It is an artificery device, so that's not too out of the ordinary. This power box contains artificery hardware and arcane power cell. It's connected to the chemical vat, so it must control some function of the refinery. Excellent. To start, could you tell us exactly what happened? Well, it all began during the work rush yesterday evening. One of my employees fell from the walkway into a vat of magical chemicals. Those chemicals contain extremely volatile and destructive evocation magic. Because of that, he unfortunately died before we could pull him out. I see. But that all just sounds like an unfortunate accident. Why is Lord Von Sanctus blaming you for what happened? There are guardrails on the walkway to prevent people from falling. Supposedly, those guardrails broke apart when that employee tried to lean against it. According to Von Sanctus, the accident was a direct result of my negligence to maintain the refinery. But my employees have taken great care to inspect and maintain the facilities. I have no idea how this happened. Is he telling the truth? This could all just be lip service. The only way to know for sure is to inspect the walkway yourself. Earlier you said the victim was an employee of yours. Could you tell us more about them? Yes, I hired them just a few months ago. It's a shame what happened to him. He was a young man named Justin Way. Was he a good employee? He was a hard worker, but he was a bit rough around the edges when he first started. Before working for me, I heard that he always spent time with the local delinquents. Miss Tudor practically begged me to hire him. She told me she wanted to turn his life around. That does sound like something Rika would do. She always had a habit of getting involved in her friend's personal business. When you live a life like Justin, it helps when you have something to give you some structure and direction. So I decided to give the boy a chance by hiring him. He was clearly a hard worker. He did well to earn his keep. Always followed the rules too, so I have no idea why he was up in that walkway. Wait, he wasn't supposed to be on the walkway? Earlier you mentioned that Justin wasn't supposed to be on the walkway. What did you mean by that? Well, Justin worked in an entirely different department. He was part of a team that managed packaging and freight. He had no business being inside the refinery building, much less the upper walkway. It's strange to say the least. Was he the type of person to wander around places he's not supposed to? No. Like I said before, he always followed my rules. All just makes this whole situation that much more confusing. there anyone around when the accident occurred? Did anyone see Justin fall? There were many employees here at the time, but there were only a handful of witnesses who actually saw Justin fall from the walkway. Who were these witnesses? If I remember correctly, Miss Tudor was the one who saw him fall. Wait, Rika was there when it happened? Yeah, she witnessed the accident alongside the harbour master, Morrison. Oh, you're acquainted with him? I am. Morrison was close friends with your mother when you were a child, but after you left Oronox, you went out of your way to cut contact with everyone from your past. But what were all of these people doing here in the first place? Rick is a cafe owner, and Morrison's a harbour master. I'm a little concerned about that myself. I'm still unsure about Miss Tudor, but the harbour master was accompanied by a nobleman of some sort. A nobleman? I'm not privy to the specifics, but apparently the nobleman had legal authority to go wherever he wanted to. I've asked Morrison more about that, but it will be awkward to speak with him after all these years. Alright. Let's check the walkway. Tyrion, do you need me to scan for magical traces? Well, there aren't any magical elements in this case, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt to check. Alright? It's a vat of dangerous magical chemicals. Supposedly, they're corrosive enough to dissolve anyone unfortunate to fall into it. Celeste is watching carefully. She can be a little overprotective at times. Looks like the guardrails completely broke apart. The rails are completely rusted too. Hello, I am here, but also not. Hello, Galactic, and also not hello, Galactic. Was Dracogen lying about properly maintaining the site?
Arcanum.
There are traces of evocation magic on the chemicals in these vats. Makes sense. Evocation is the school of magic for spells that create and disperse energy. These chemicals probably induce some sort of magical reaction to create arcane crystals. What? What's wrong? There are traces of transmutation all over the guardrails. Transmutation? Do you see those traces anywhere else on the walkway? No, it's only this area. Transmutation is the school of magic that changes the properties of physical objects. Usually mages use transmutation spells to strengthen and repair objects. How does transmutation spell affect the guardrail? Someone used a spell to change the physical properties of the guardrails. Judging by the current state of the rails, we can include one thing. The rust weakened the structural integrity of the guardrails. Transmutation spells always change. The spell strengthened. Or weakened. Right. Someone used a transmutation spell to weaken the guardrails. Afterwards, the guardrails were so weak that Justin accidentally broke them. And only these guardrails were weakened. The sabotaged rails were right next to this vat of corrosive chemicals, too. What was the intention? There was a clear intention behind the actions of this unknown mage. Judging by what happened, that intention can only be one thing. The unknown mage wanted someone to fall into the vat. Whoever sabotaged the guardrail wanted someone to fall into the vat. Why else would they target only those specific guardrails? But why? Who would do this? You can feel your fist clenching tightly. Someone committed murder using magic here. Whoever did this had the gall to try and cover it up. Tyrion? You won't forgive whoever did this. When you're through with them, you'll make them feel a fraction of the misery that your mother... Tyrion! What? Are you okay? Right. Sorry. Anyways, if it weren't for your detect magic, everyone would have written this off as an accident. Magical traces are only detectable for 48 hours after a mage casts a spell. That means whoever cast the transmutation spell did so recently. Right. Okay, that's it. You should notify Dracogen about the trace of transmutation that you found, but perhaps you should wait until you obtain more information first. That's fair. Alright, to the harbor. You arrive at the harbor in search of Morrison, the harbor master. However, you notice a large concentration of knights in the shipping area. Notably, the Arcane Inquisition is among them. You spot Commander White and Prosecutor Steelwind coordinating the knights there. I wonder what those two are doing here. The knights at the blockade said they were investigating something. There must be magic involved in the Inquisitions here. Do you think that has anything to do with what happened to Justin? I doubt it. We didn't see any Inquisition knights at the refinery. It might just be a coincidence. You're probably right, but but I'm kind of curious about what the Inquisition is investigating. It has nothing to do with our case. It'd be best to leave them to their business. Alright. Oh, you there. You best clear out. Knights have closed the harbour. Morrison? Well, do I know you? Wait, Cuthbert? Is that you? Noah Morrison. Hi. Heard from little Masarika you were back in town. What can I do for you? I heard you were at the refinery yesterday. From what we heard, you witnessed the accident. We wanted to ask you some questions about what you saw. Right. Masarika mentioned that you're an attorney now. What? Just hope you're still not hung up over that business with your mother. Sorry, I guess it's none of my business. Anyways, I'll tell you what I know. Modest ship. I can't help but feel nostalgic seeing these ships. I used to travel by sea all the time when I was traveling the world. It's probably my favorite part. That does sound pretty nice. I'd like to try riding one day. Are you sure? You get motion sick pretty easily. Sailing on a ship might kill you. She has a point there. Some crates. A row of houses on the edge of the harbor. When I was a kid, I always dreamed of saving up gold to buy my own house on the harbor front. Well, you have a job as an attorney now. You can always move back here. No. If possible, I never want to return to the city again.
Repario Arcanum.
Didn't figure there would be anything there. Trackerton told us you witnessed the accident. It's a horrible thing what happened. No one deserves what happened to that poor lad. Could you tell us what you saw? I was showing a patron around town, and for some reason he really wanted to take a look at the refinery. Something about checking out the local artificery. He must mean artificery. Anyways, he was looking at the machinery, and then suddenly Masarika came running towards us. She was trying to tell us something, but the damn machines were too loud for us to hear her. After a while, she just pointed the walkway and saw some horrible sight. We saw someone fall into the vat. By the time we could get them to stop the machines, it was too late. Not just up with what you know so far, but what was Rika even doing there? She should have still been running the cafe at the time of the accident. That patron who was visiting the factory, did they also witness the accident? Could you tell us how Justin fell off the walkway? Was it because the guardrail broke under his weight? Yeah, he did, but it was a little strange. The guardrail was made out of metal, yeah? But the way it broke, you would have thought it was made out of cardboard. He barely leaned on it, it just broke apart. Even a poorly maintained guardrail shouldn't have broken that easily. Did someone really use transmutation magic to sabotage it? If so, that possibility could clear Dracogen's name. Presenting the possibility of a magical crime might just complicate things. You mentioned that you were escorting a patron when the accident happened. Who was he? Did he witness the accident too? He was right there with me when Rickert was trying to get our attention. Be hard to miss it with the commotion she was making. As for who he was, he said his name was Asta. Asta. You don't know anyone by that name. But why does that name sound familiar? Did you know what his surname was? No, lad was really secretive with his last name for some reason. Must have had a recognizable name. Is he a noble from a well-known house? Isn't Astor the crown prince? Why were you escorting this Astor in the first place? Don't you have to manage the harbor? I can't really manage anything because of them. He gestures toward the Inquisition Knights guarding the pier. Blocked all sea travel out of the city till this mess is sorted out. They have a lot of knights investigating the harbor. Do you know what they're looking for? Well, you didn't hear this from me. According to them, Astor's ship just up and vanished in the dead of night. Vanished? As in someone hijacked it? It's a thing. The gods would have noticed if someone had driven off with the ship, especially one of that size. From what I heard, one of the gods could have sworn they saw it vanish in a flash of light. A flash of light? Like something created by a spell? What kind of ship was it? Do you know how big it was? The size of it, I'd say it was probably a galleon. A galleon? A spell of that scale would have to be pretty powerful to affect a ship of that size. I wonder who this Astor person is. He must be high profile if they're calling in the King's Guard and the Inquisition for him. All over a missing ship, too. You spent some time with him. Am I correct, Morrison? Did he tell you where he was staying? If I remember right, he's staying at the local inn near the town square. Wait, that's the tavern we were staying at. If he's this high profile, why is he staying at an inn for commoners? No idea. He's an eccentric one for sure. Whoever he is, he also witnessed the accident. I'll definitely want to speak with him. And if he's a noble, there's a chance he's the mage that sabotaged the guardrail. Alright. Well, let's talk to Rika. You arrive at the cafe and see the restaurant is packed with customers. You don't see Rika anywhere, though. She must be preoccupied. Perhaps you should check in when the restaurant is less busy. So Some kind of tarot card. Customer must accidentally left the ear. Magician is associated with the power of transformation and manifestation. In its upright position, which is associated with resourcefulness to harness one's inner potential, often symbolizes a person who possesses great skill, creativity, and mastery over their craft. I never knew you knew about these things. Ha! Of course I do! The power of the magician is the power to shape reality through the power of will. Doesn't that remind you of someone? No, not really. Oh, come on. I have a feeling I was supposed to find that tarot card earlier. Morrison said that Aster's staying in one of the rooms of this tavern, but which room is it? I could always just check each room. That might irritate the patrons, though. And if Aster doesn't want to be found, we might alert if we annoy too many people. I guess you're right. Your family owns a tavern, right? If you had to put a VIP somewhere, which room would you choose? I guess it would probably be the one at the end of the hallway. That's the one I use at my family's tavern. I don't think it's that strange. No, but it looks exactly like the McCoy Tavern. It's uncanny. Does this whoever made this tavern decided to just reuse the same design? Hey, making unique designs is difficult, Tyrion, and it costs money. Do you really think developers should be spending our resources on a location that you'll only see once? I don't know, it just seems kind of lazy. Well, if it bothers you so much, why don't you pay for the assets required to make a new one? You decide to drop the matter. According to Celeste's intuition, the innkeeper would probably have given Aster this room. You approach the door and firmly knock on it. Hello? Someone does come to answer the door, but they only open the door a fraction of the way. The crack in the door is less than an inch wide. You can't get a look at the person's face. Terribly sorry, but if your business isn't urgent, I'd like to be left alone. Sorry if I'm intruding, but are you Aster? My name is Tyrion Cuthbert. I'm the defense attorney of Stefanik Drakichen. From what I've heard, you witnessed the accident at the refinery yesterday. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about what you saw? Upon hearing your name, the man fully opens the door, and you're finally able to get a good look at him. He definitely stands out from the other patrons of the inn. He must be the wealthy patron you're looking for. Tyrion Cuthbert, the protege of the infamous Ruby Tamora. So you know who I am. I do. I know you very well. I'm your biggest fan! What? I can't believe it. The infamous Tyrion Cuthbert is standing right in front of my tavern room. What? I've read all about your feats, Mr. Cuthbert. You successfully indicted the head of House Pierce. You didn't think twice about confronting the inheritor of House Frigga. And you even defeated Lord Von Sanctus in the chess tournament yesterday. I'm so lost right now. And you must be Celeste McCoy, Tyrion's first client and the Crimson Demon of the Eastern Kingdoms. How did you find out about that name? The Crimson what? Don't ask. Anyways, if you are Aster, does that mean you witnessed the accident with the harbor master yesterday? Yes, I did. Are you going to interrogate me about what I saw? I'll answer whatever questions you have. I've never met a witness who has been this eager to cooperate. But hopefully this means he won't hide any details about what he saw. Okay. Stepping out of the game for a second. I seem to remember Miriam talking about the Crown Prince working on a project, and I think she mentioned the name Aster. She mentioned it to Steelwind, who we know has a fiancé who's very high up. I think Aster is the Crown Prince and is engaged to Steelwind, which makes it fucking hilarious that he's now being like, I'm your biggest fan, to the person who is, like, beaten Steelwind in every case. I'm stopping in to say hello, but I cannot say and listen, because Sharp is not caught up and doesn't want spoilers. Will the VOD be up tonight? Very likely. So far, I have been super up-to-date on getting the Tyrion VODs up. Also, hi, Obsidian. Do you like the spooky stream background? So yeah, I can't guarantee the VOD will be up tonight, but it's very likely. Unless, like, the only way it wouldn't be is if this stream goes so long that I go straight to bed, in which case I would probably get it up sometime tomorrow. But, excuse me. I would bet that it'll get up tonight. So anyway, that's my theory about what's happening. Oh my gosh, I love it. Here, let me, boom, here, let me... Larger view. I'm sad the bottles aren't quite as visible as I was hoping. Put some tonic water in them, which fluoresces next to a black light, but from this distance it doesn't show very well. Also, I put some food coloring in them, which does, to be fair, lower the fluorescence. But anyway, back to the case. So excited this game is back. Obsidian. It's only been gone since, Tuesday. Should I or should I not send an email to my professor asking to reschedule our meeting with the subject line, uh-oh, spaghetti-o? So, Velvet, I would say to do it. To be fair, I also once sent an email to not a professor, but the director of the theaters at my school, to let him know that I had gotten COVID over spring break and was going to miss the first few the first few rehearsals of Tech Week, and I opened it with, please don't kill me. Let me find the exact thing that I sent him. Oh, sorry, never mind. The subject line was, please don't kill me. Directors are so scary. Our director was not scary. There was nothing scary about this man. If someone was going to kill you, it would be a director during Tech Week. It would be. Literally, I opened the email by saying, so it seems that in one of the 3 times I left my house during this break, I managed to come down with COVID. Oh. But, alright. Zoroaster's room, the innkeeper gave the room at the end of the hall. The next Tyrion case. Aster. You clearly know who I am, but I'm still unsure of who you are, Aster. Ah, my apologies, but I would prefer to keep my full identity hidden for now. It's within his right to do so, but you can't help but feel a little suspicious. In any case, what is your business in Oranax? I was accompanying a ship transporting goods to Lord Von Sanctus. Doki Doki when? Literally as soon as Tyrion's done. I installed the game today. I am on case 3 out of 5, so probably in the next, week or 2, I would guess I would be starting Doki Doki. It comes down to how long these 3 cases take, how many times I manage to stream Tyrion. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. But as soon as Tyrion's done, bonus stream content will be changing from Tyrion Cuthbert to Doki Doki. The same ship that was magically stolen? I'm surprised you found out about that. The Kingsguard have been trying their best to keep that information hidden. But I suppose I shouldn't expect anything less from you, Mr. Cuthbert. Flattery will get him nowhere. What was on that ship? It must be pretty valuable to be worth stealing. I doubt there was anything on that ship worth drawing the ire of the entire kingdom. The truth is, during the time that my ship was stolen, I was supposed to be on it. I see. The theft of the ship might have actually been an attempt to kidnap you. It's my current theory, anyway. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. Hello, the gay people who live in my phone. Hello, Isaac. Tell Velvet about how not scary our director was. I must go so Shrub doesn't get spoiled. I will sneakily watch the vid while he is unconscious. Godspeed, Obsidian. Hope you have a good night. He seems awfully calm about this. The accident. According to Morrison, you were also in the refinery that night. Oh, director is terrifying. Did you witness the moment the victim fell into the vat? I did. Could you tell us exactly what you saw? Put in an "oh girl, are you doing okay" kind of way. Every detail you can remember could be important. It all began when I was visiting the refinery with the harbor master. I was inspecting the refinery's machines when a girl frantically ran toward us. She was hysterical. It looked like she was trying to tell us something, but we couldn't hear her over the noise of the machines. When she realized that we couldn't hear her, she simply pointed at the walkway. That's when we saw Justin Wei fall off it and into the vat. This next question is very important. Did you see the victim break the guardrail by leaning on it? Yes, he broke the guardrail before he fell. His testimony matches exactly with what Morrison saw. Okay. The way he fell was very strange, though. Strange? What could he mean by that? You mentioned the way the victim fell was strange. And did you feel the guardrail broke too easily? Why, yes! How did you know? It matches with the statement that the harbor master gave us. Don't want to reveal the traces of transmutation that you found on the walkway, at least not yet. But yes, the guardrail broke the moment that Justin leaned on it, and his body was extremely limp when falling, too. His body was limp? Normally, when falling from a great height, one would flail their arms, yes? But when I saw him falling, he wasn't moving at all. He wasn't moving. Did you see the expression on his face? He might have been unconscious. I'm afraid I couldn't see anything on his face. Bro was just leading the witness. It's much too dark to make out his features. Wait, you didn't actually see his face? How did you know it was actually him that fell in? Well, who else could it have been? No one else has been reported missing. They also found the remnants of Justin's body in the vat. It was definitely him that fell in. It's true, we don't have much reason to believe that Justin might still be alive. There are traces of transmutation magic at the crime scene, and it appears that Aster is quite a high-profile individual. He's probably a mage, and aside from Rika, he was probably the only other mage at the refinery that night. If you ask him outright, you might be able to see something incriminating through the Eye of Horus. Aster, we'll respect your privacy if you don't want to tell us who you are, but could you at least answer one question for me? I can make no promises, but I'll do my best to tell you what I can. Are you a mage? Oh, is that all? Yes, I'm a mage, and I'm quite the practiced one at that. You see, Celeste cast Detect Magic to look at the scene of the accident, and we found traces of transmutation magic at the crime scene, namely on the guardrails that Justin fell through. What? Here it is. I can't believe it! What? Are you telling me that a mage used transmutation magic to weaken the rails? It's a conspiracy. You will be on in the background while I read my book. Yell my name if you need me. Will do, Isaac. Wait, does that mean this was actually a murder made to look like an accident? It's like something out of the reports I read about him. You don't see anything incriminating, and you can see his thoughts clearly. His feelings of happiness are a bit off-putting, though. And you asked me if I was a mage. Doesn't that mean I'm a potential suspect? This is the greatest thing to ever happen to me! This is the first time you've met someone that's happy to be suspected of murder. Sorry, it's not right of me to get so excited about something this serious. You must think less of me now. But it's like something right out of a mystery novel! It's not the reaction you were expecting. Nevertheless, it doesn't look like there are any incriminating thoughts in his mind. And the emotions that he was emanating were all positive. There wasn't a drop of fear in there. What could this mean? Either way, it looks like you found out everything you can from Master. You should move somewhere else. I'm an attorney. Can you tell me about this? Sorry, I'd love to help you, but I can't say much about that. Okay. Maddie got sick late last week and didn't do anything productive with her time this weekend, although she did sleep a ton and is feeling betterish. I have once again been slaving away over my laptop all day, and my battle is still very much uphill. I'm the definition of professional. Yeah, I tend to agree. Maybe there are more people at the cafe, or less people at the cafe. Tyrion, you're back! Did you talk to Mr. Dracogen? I did. I'm still not sure what to make of him just yet, but after what I've seen today, I don't think I can turn a blind eye to what's happening. There were traces of magic on the guardrail. Regardless of their motive, someone sabotaged those rails with the intent of harming an employee at their refinery. If this truly was a murder, you'll have to find out who did this and why. I'll represent him in court for the criminal case. Thanks! It really means a lot to me. On that note, you were at the refinery when the accident occurred, am I correct? Yes, I was. Probably the most professional person I know. May I ask you a few questions about what you saw that day? Of course! I'll do whatever I can to help. I have to build up a psychological profile. By the way, why were you at the refinery that day? Didn't you have to work at the cafe? I was making a food delivery to Justin. Wait, you were delivering food to the victim? Yeah, he never had time to make his own dinner. So I always delivered his dinner during his evening break. But that night I couldn't find him in the freight area, so I went looking for him in the refinery building. So the accident happened while you were delivering his food. Did you talk to Justin at all before the accident? I did. When I finally found him in the refinery building, he seemed busy. He told me to leave his food in the break room. He was busy? But according to Dracogen, he should never have been in the refinery building in the first place. Did he say what he was busy with? He said that he had a meeting scheduled with Mr. Dracogen. That can't be true, though. Dracogen didn't mention anything about this. Unless... What did you see? We've gotten a few witness accounts already, but I just wanted to double check. What did you see during the accident? Sorry, I'm sure it was a disturbing sight. Do you need to take a moment? No, it's okay. Happened after Justin told me to leave his food in the break room. It's my first time inside the refinery, so I spent some time looking at all of the machines. That's when I suddenly heard a strange sound from the walkway. When I looked to see what it was, I saw Justin fall from there. I tried to find someone to help him, but no one could hear me because of how loud the machines were. Before I finally got them to understand what happened, it was already too late. Did you see the guardrail break when Justin fell off the walkway? More specifically, did it break from Justin's weight? I'm honestly not sure. I was too busy trying to find help. You have matching witness accounts from Astrid Morrison. They saw the guardrail break. Having Rika also confirmed that would have been helpful. But you suppose Astrid Morrison's statement was off suffice. Rika's account of what happened is a lot less detailed than Astrid Morrison's, but she did see Justin before the accident, so I have no idea why Justin was on that walkway in the first place. According to Rika, he said that he had a meeting scheduled with Jackagen. When you look up professional in the dictionary, you actually see my picture next to it. It's true, I checked. But this doesn't match with what Jackagen told you. Either Justin or Jackagen must be lying in that case. You've met Jackagen already, but you still have no idea what kind of person Justin was. Perhaps Rika can tell you more. And could you tell us more about the victim? What kind of person was he? He was a good person. It's, well, the only photographic definition in the dictionary. He fell in with a bad crowd a few years ago, but he was starting to turn his life around. I saw how much he was trying to change, so I asked Mr. Twackagen to give him a job. I really wanted to help him change his life for the better, but this job ended up killing him. You can't blame yourself for this. No one could have known this would happen. I guess you're right. It's hard not to think about it, though. Was he the type of person to go places he wasn't supposed to be? No, not anymore. Not anymore. He really wanted to make a good impression on Mr. Twackagen. He always talked about following the rules. He even got mad at me a few times when I accidentally broke Twackagen's protocols. Matches up with what Twackagen said, but maybe he was falling back into his old habits. Perhaps Rick can tell you more about what he was like before he turned his life around. You mentioned that Justin fell in with a bad crowd before. I've also heard that he used to hang out around the local band of delinquents. Could you tell us more about them? What? Rika, this information will help us with our investigation. I need to speak with the other people who knew him. Do you know where I could find his delinquent friends? I'm sorry, I really didn't know him that well. I should keep quiet, it might make it mad. Rika, are you hiding something from me? What? Of course not! What would the Dark Lord of Oranox possibly have to hide from you? Yeah, she's definitely hiding something. I'll need to argue against her if you want the truth. Rika seems to have decorated the entire cafe with several plants and flowers. So I'm gonna check.
Repario Arcanum.
I'd really like to build up a full profile before I argue with her. Maybe I can get something more from Draction. There's something here. Some kind of daredevil. It's Ferdinand Dumont, a famous stunt performer and physicist. I heard he used to run shows here several decades ago. Always jump over large obstacles or crevices in some sort of wheeled vehicle. You've heard he even tried creating flying machines near the end of his career. Flying machines? Yeah, I heard he didn't even use magic to make them fly. It's a shame the kingdom hasn't tried to develop his research further.
Repario Arcanum.
There's gotta be something somewhere. That'll let us finish out the psychological profile. Yeah, it's difficult to think about sometimes. You always hear about these things happening, but you never expect them to happen to people you know. But have no fear. It'll take more than this to bring down the High Archmagi. She's reverted back to her Chuni personality. There we go. Psychological profile complete. Master Tudor appears to be hiding something from you. She clearly knows about the bad crowd that Justin fell in with, but she's hiding who they are and where you can find them. You'll need to convince her to share that information with her. Argument time. Rika, you know about Justin's friends, don't you? Just be honest with me. I'm not hiding anything. I really don't know that much about him. I wasn't that close to Justin Way. I may have delivered his food, but he was just a customer to me. Perform questionable acts to protect the people she cares about. She has your best interests at heart and will always act in a way that she thinks is beneficial to your well-being. She isn't very good at deception. She will often revert to her dramatic Chuni personality when trying to hide the truth from you. You got him his job. I might have believed that you delivered his food because he was a good customer, but that wasn't all you did for him. You saw that he was trying to turn his life around, and you begged Dracogen to set him up with a job. You wouldn't do that for a customer you barely knew. Well, that still proves nothing. I'm Master Tudor, High Archmage of the Cadmium Flame. It is so hard to believe I took pity on a stranger. Only helped him because I'm a generous person. It would only be right for me to equip a commoner with the means to change his life. I only helped him because I'm a generous person. She'll perform questionable acts to protect the people she cares about. You're not a very good liar, Rika. You would have risked a lot by asking him to hire a stranger. You're not a good liar, Rika. You would have risked a lot by asking Dracogen to hire a stranger, especially a stranger with a dubious past like Justin. What if Justin fell back into his old ways? That would have surely brought about consequences on you and your business. You wouldn't take a risk like that unless you knew him well enough to trust him. Okay, fine. I guess we were friends, but like I said before, he was trying to leave his old life behind. He always kept his past a secret. He didn't like talking about the person he was back then. He wanted to forget about it, and that I never brought it up. It's sort of true. We knew each other for years before he told me about it. Contradicts thoughts seen with the eye. I doubt that, Rika. In fact, I'm sure you were friends for at least a few years. With a friendship that old, I'm sure he would have confided in you about his past. What? No, you need to stay focused. Rika, I don't know why you thought you had to lie about this, but I need to talk to Justin's former friends. Is that really necessary? Yes, I need to know why he was behaving so strangely before the accident. His friends might know something about him that you and Dracogen don't, but that doesn't make any sense. There wasn't anything strange about the way he was acting. I think you're just overthinking this, Tyrion. Rika, he was acting very strangely. I need to talk to Justin's former friends so they can explain this. I don't understand. How would talking to his former friends explain that? Ooh, didn't want to overplay your hand before, but it looks like you don't have a choice now. Rika, Justin told you that he was heading to a scheduled meeting in Dracogen's office. But according to Dracogen, Justin wasn't even supposed to be in the refinery building yesterday. What? Rika, Justin might have lied to you. No, he would never do that. I need to know why he was up there. And so far, the statements that I've gotten from you and Dracogen don't explain that. I need to talk to the people who might know things about him that you don't. Argument 1. The meeting has been rescheduled. Nice. Okay, I'll tell you where you can find them. Just promise me you'll be safe, okay? Where are they? Sorry, I wasn't trying to lie to you. It's okay. I'm assuming you had your reasons, but I need to know where I can find Justin's old friends. You probably know already, but a few years ago, Justin got involved with a local street gang. They'd always hang around the beach area. But one day they discovered an abandoned house along the coastline. They started spending most of their time there. A lone house on the coastline. It's that house, Tyrion. That's probably where you'll find Justin's old friends. So, that's why you were being so secretive. What? I'm sorry. Don't be. You were just trying to look out for me, right? Are you gonna be okay? I can go there with you if like. No, it's okay. I'm sure you're busy with the cafe right now. It's not as if I'll be going alone. Alright, just don't push yourself too hard, okay? Yeah. abandoned house. You arrive at the old abandoned house. Upon looking at the home that you left behind, you're struck with a flood of memories. Those memories were once happy, but now they only fill you with grief. Tyrion, are you okay? Yeah, let's look around. You wipe your eyes and begin looking around the house. Suddenly, you hear the sound of glass breaking. You rush to see the source and see two young teenagers throwing rocks at the side of the house. The shattered remains of a window are lying on the ground. Nice shot, Gavin! One of the teens, apparently named Gavin, noticed you approaching. Oh, company Wyatt. Huh? You stare blankly at the broken glass lying on the ground. You're at a loss for words. You feel like you should respond, but nothing comes out of your mouth. You suddenly find yourself quickly approaching the two teens. What the hell do you want? What the hell? Before you even realize what you're doing, you threw a punch straight into Gavin's face. Your eyes are slowly tearing up. You can only see red. You grab Gavin by the collar and pull his face close to yours. Get the hell away from my house. Tyrion? Oh, you want to go? If you came looking for trouble, you sure found it. Okay, let's all calm down and just stay out of this, you little shit. Excuse me? What? You got cotton in your ears or something? Yes, actually. Why don't you go ahead and repeat what you said? I said stay out of this, you little shit. 5 minutes later. Celeste? Yes? Sorry for losing my temper back there. I didn't mean to drag you into this. It's okay. Our emotions get the better of us sometimes. Celeste? Yes? I think you might have overdone it a bit. Nah. Celeste? Yes? I don't think he's breathing. Come on, just give him a second. You suddenly hear the very bruised and broken form of Gavin sputtering and wheezing on the ground. Looks like he's finally regained consciousness. See, he's perfectly fine. You're fine. Wyatt is staring wide-eyed at Celeste. From the shaking of his legs, it looks like he wants to run away, but he's too frozen by fear to. Don't bother running. Even with a head start, I can easily catch up to you. Anyways, these two are probably Justin's former delinquent friends, right? You okay with talking to them? Yes, of course. With your emotions such disarray, you completely forgot why you came here in the first place. Would you two happen to know the young man who died at the refinery yesterday? These guys are after Justin, but he's already dead. After Justin? Was there someone with a grudge against him? Wyatt clearly thinks you were sent on someone's behalf. Wouldn't hurt to play the part to get more information out of him. We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to hurt you anymore. We'd just like to ask a few questions about Justin. Yeah, sure, man. Whatever you want. Alright, you two talk. I'll work on popping Gavin's shoulder back into place. It's a little disturbing how nonchalantly she says things like that. What can you tell me about Justin Way? According to a few witnesses we spoke to, you used to be friends. Friends kind of pushing it. We used to hang out back in the day, but we don't know more. It's weird when he started talking to us again. I thought he left for good. But he started talking to you again. Why? He just needed some of the old gear he left at the house. Old gear? What kind of old gear? You know, his thieves' tools. All the tools you need for lockpicking and safe cracking. Tools for lockpicking and safe cracking? Why would Justin need those? Why would Justin need lockpicking and safe cracking tools for? Well, he needed to get the gold that he owed your boss. So he owed gold to someone. Word has it he was working for the merchant that owns the refinery. Guess the owner trusted him a lot. Justin said that he had a way to get access to the safe in the guy's office. Justin was always a whiz when it came to breaking and entering. He even had the tools that could crack magical locks. Getting the gold out of that safe would have been an easy score for him. Wait, Justin was planning to rob Dracogen? Wyatt apparently thinks you were sent on behalf of someone. From what he said before, Justin owed a non-trivial amount of gold to this person. Oh, excuse me. If this person was some kind of criminal, could they have been the one who sabotaged the guardrail? Did Justin tell you who he owed his debt to? Nah, man, he didn't say nothing. They might whack me too if I tell them the truth. So he does know. There's no point in playing dumb. Just tell us what he told you. Did he give you a name? Answer the question. The eye taker. He'll go to gold to the eye taker. The eye taker? Eye taker. Must be some sort of criminal nickname. Why does that sound so familiar, though? Either way, I need to find out who this eye taker is. Might be best to ask someone else. Several weeds and plant life grown since your last year. Doesn't look like anyone's taken care of the yard for the last 2 years. But you suppose that's more your fault than anyone else's. Returning to this house has brought back several memories that you have complicated feelings for. These feelings are even more confounded by the blatant vandalism committed by Gavin and Wyatt. Honestly, you'd rather leave this place as soon as possible. The view of the sea is just as you remember it. Probably the only thing that hasn't changed since you left Oranax.
Repario Arcanum.
Hey, Tyrion? Yeah? Back at the house, what was that all about? I've never seen you get that angry before, and you said it was your house. Yeah, it was my house. It was? Ever since we arrived in the city, you haven't really been yourself. If you want to talk about it, I'm fine. And I don't want to talk about it. You're not fine. I can see it on your face. Please just talk to me. It's none of your business. Came out a lot louder than you wanted to. Celeste, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Without a word, she quickly walks ahead of you. Should I be telling him that Justin was planning to rob him? No, that's not it. We should find out who the eye taker is. Maybe someone we've already talked to knows who they are. Right. Ricky, do you know a criminal named the Eye Taker? The Eye Taker? Can't say I've heard of them. Are you in conflict with this villain? Do they seek to steal the Eye of Horus from you? No, not exactly. At least you hope not. Either way, it looks like Ricky doesn't know who the Eye Taker is. You should ask someone else. Morris, maybe. What can you tell us about this, Morwen? Sorry, I don't know much about these sorts of things. You better ask someone else. Morrison, do you know a criminal named the Eye Taker? Eye Taker? Where'd you hear that name? So you do know about them. I do. This man's... is this brave? This man's accent is so inconsistent. The problem is that when I first started doing him, he was more an Australian, but then he keeps saying I, which brings me into Scottish. But there are already two prominent characters in this chapter who have made Scottish. I wanted to keep my distance from it over the years. I take is the criminal kingpin of this region. Every large criminal undertaking in this region happens under his watch. He's that big of a deal? Of course he is. More importantly, how did you hear about him? From what I heard, Justin Way owed him a huge debt. Justin owed them. I knew I used to run around with a bunch of rogues, but I never imagined. By the scale, Lord. The Eye Taker might be involved in Justin's death. Do you think someone like him could be behind this? No. There's a saying we have about what happens when you get on his bad side. Let's just say he reminds you of why he has that name. So you know who the Eye Taker is now. Definitely adds another angle to this case. But there are still some elements of this that don't make sense. You need some time to work through it all. But you should go talk to Draxton first. I want to see everything you've found. Hello, Mr. Cuthbert. I trust you're doing well. We are, for the most part. We've spent some time looking into the accident and the people who knew Justin. I think there might be more to this case than meets the eye. Oh? If you had the chance to change your fate, would you? I like Scottish, it's funny. It's one of my better accents, I would say. He seems troubled when you explain the traces of transmutation you found on the guardrail. He's even more taken aback when you mention Justin's supposed plan to rob him. This is quite a lot to take in. Are you missing any valuables in your safe right now? No, actually, but what is it? After the accident, I did a careful inspection of the building. When I checked my office, I noticed the lock on the safe was disengaged. The safe was opened, but you said there wasn't anything missing. That's right. When I saw the safe open like that, I was already worried that I'd been robbed. but I double-checked the contents. Everything was accounted for. Because of that, I just assumed I'd forgotten to lock it. This doesn't make any sense. Maybe it was just a coincidence? I might believe that if it weren't for where my office is located. What do you mean? The walkway that Justin fell from leads to my office. There's a window there that overlooks the refinery. That would explain why Justin was there in the first place. I don't want to suspect one of my employees, especially one that isn't alive to defend himself from such accusations. But it just all fits too perfectly together, except for one thing. Why wasn't anything stolen? Well, regardless, I think you have a pretty good case. Me when and my mom turns into a bear. I don't remember the movie. So does this mean you'll represent me? After what I've discovered, I won't just stand by and let Von Sanctus have his way. Well spoken. Glad to have you on my side, Mr. Cuthbert. Anyways, regardless of why, someone clearly magically tampered with the site of the accident. I doubt the court will find you at fault for what happened. Although, what's wrong? Civil cases are a lot less strict than criminal cases. If we present evidence suggesting foul play using magic, I'll treat this exactly like our other cases. Yeah. They might stall the trial until they find out exactly what happened. For this accident, all we have to go on is witness accounts. Finding concrete evidence of what happened could very well be impossible. But the idea of hunting down the major responsible sounds very tempting. Looks like you have your work cut out for you. Just hope things turn out okay in the end. And with Von Sanctus on the other side of this, who knows what might happen. It'd be best to keep your wits about you. I can't believe this. I have more important things to do than resolve your petty squabbles for you. Yes, the missing ship of your betrothed. Called it! Fucking called it! Listen, the sooner you help me resolve this mess with Dracogen, the sooner you can return to being the prince's lapdog. That is to say, once I'm not preoccupied with this case, House Von Sanctus can provide the resources that you and the Inquisition need. I suppose I don't have a choice, do I? Well, at least this case should be relatively straightforward. Oh, she's gonna be so excited to see me! Oh, they brought the judge all the way from the capital. Court is now in session for the trial of Stefan Dracogen. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready. Very well. Let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. Defendant is charged with criminal negligence in the death of Justin Way. The death occurred at the Oronex Arcane Refinery last night. Mr. Way was an employee of the Dracogen Trading Company, a company owned by the defendant. During work hours, the victim accidentally broke a poorly maintained safety rail and fell into a vat of corrosive chemicals. Attempts to save his life failed, and his body almost fully dissolved. I see. What a gruesome end. The defendant displayed clear negligence in maintaining the refinery's facilities. As such, the responsibility for Mr. Way's death falls squarely on his shoulders. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Noah Morrison to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Yes, the name's Noah Morrison. I'm the Harbour Master of Ornax's Harbour. It's my understanding that you witnessed the accident that night. Am I correct? I did. Could you please testify to the court about what you witnessed? Witness testimony. I was showing a visitor around the city. For some reason, he really wanted to see the Ornax Arcane Refinery. He was inspecting the machines there when suddenly, Mazarika ran up to us. She was desperately trying to tell us something, but there was just too much noise. After a while, she just pointed at the walkway overlooking the refinery. That's where we saw someone fall into that accursed vat. There was a guardrail that should have prevented him from falling, but he broke through it as he fell. So there was a safety rail that should have protected the victim. Yes. However, upon closer inspection, the city guard found that the rails were extremely rusted. They were clearly poorly maintained by the company. I see. And this negligence is the basis for the prosecution's charges. Are you going to present the traces of transmutation we found? I can't help but feel there's something in Morrison's testimony that doesn't add up. Right now, those traces are the only defense we have against Von Sanctus' accusations. It's not a piece that I want to use just yet. Once you use that piece, who knows how the judge will react. Not much has changed with Morrison's testimony. However, you've collected a lot more evidence since you last spoke with him. Is there anything you found that contradicts his testimony? Alright. Oh, it's the refinery. Yeah, that tracks. He was inspecting the machines there. She was desperately trying to tell us something, but there was just too much noise. Yeah, that tracks. After a while, she pointed at the walkway overlooking the refinery. That's where we saw someone fall into that accursed vat. There was a guardrail that should have prevented him from falling, but he threw it as he fell. And you saw the guardrail break? It's hard to see most things from the distance, but I definitely noticed that. Definitely made an impression on me. It's like those rails were made out of cardboard. Which only proves our point. A properly maintained guardrail should not have broken that easily. Shouldn't press the magic trace yet. There might be more you can get on Morrison's testimony. This was the patron you mentioned before, am I correct, Morrison? Master seemed keen on keeping his identity hidden. It would probably be best to leave it at that. Aside from being a mage, she hasn't given you much reason to suspect him, for now. Are you referring to Master Tudor, owner of the... Are you referring to Master Tudor, owner of the local cafe? Me back. Deej back. For whatever reason, she was also there and witnessed the accident. Yes, we were already well aware of that. Sarika's testimony was a lot less detailed than Morrison and Astor's testimony. She was probably more focused on saving Justin than taking in her surroundings. But are there any points where her testimony doesn't add up with Morrison's? After seeing him fall, she tried to get the attention. How was the investigation? It's good. Yeah. After seeing him fall, she tried to get the attention, but she couldn't understand it because of how loud the riding machines were. Objection! No, that's not it. No. You mentioned you saw someone fall into the vat. Did you not recognize the person? Well, I didn't know the lad personally, and it was pretty far away. I couldn't get a good look at the person. Maybe you should keep a pin on that detail. Anyways, could you go into more detail about the moment you witnessed the accident? Of course. What do you want to know about it? What happened to the guardrail before he fell? Well, I saw him lean on it. It should have prevented him from falling off the walkway. But the rail broke the instant he put his weight on it. That's how he fell in the vat. I see. Could you please include that detail in the testimony? What was Masterika do? What was Masterika doing the moment you saw Justin fall? I told you, didn't I? She was the one who pointed the walkway in the first place. That's how we saw Justin fall. See, could you please include that detail in testimony? Objection! Wait, what? Witness, you said you saw the victim fall into the vat. Did this happen before, during, or after Masterika tried to get your attention? It's definitely after. If it weren't for the commotion she made, I wouldn't have looked up there in the first place. It's just as you thought, but what does this mean? Morrison, I spoke with Masterika about what she saw. She said that she saw Justin fall off the walkway and then rushed to you for help. Sounds about right. No, Morrison, it actually doesn't. What do you mean? If Masterika saw Justin fall before she went to get help, then how did you see him fall after she came to you for help? What? Morrison, Masterika came to you for help. This was in reaction to seeing Justin fall off the walkway. If that's true, then how could you have possibly seen Justin fall off the walkway again afterward? I have no idea. Mr. Cuthbert, you're disrupting the witness testimony over a minor detail. It's entirely possible that Mr. Morrison or Mr. Tudor simply misremembered. I highly doubt that Morrison misremembered the order of what happened. His testimony matches up exactly with the testimony of his companion. And Miss Tudor must be the one who's mistaken. I'm compelled to agree with Miss Sealand. These conflicting accounts seem extremely minor. The prosecution's case is based on the broken guardrail, and only 3 individuals witnessed Justin Wade break said guardrail. The defense asserts that these 3 witness accounts must be consistent with each other. Otherwise, the evidence is not strong enough to find my client liable. Please, the break in the guardrail is definitely over the vat. That is enough to provide physical evidence. It proves the victim fell in because the railing broke. How do we know that the guardrail wasn't broken by some other event? It's ludicrous. You're clearly just playing devil's advocate. I'll admit that I also find the defense's assertion dubious. However, I see no harm in allowing Miss Tudor to testify to what she saw. Rebecca saw a lot less than Morrison Astor did, and her testimony was a lot less detailed. But the one detail she did remember was that she saw Justin fall off the walkway. Hopefully her testimony might clear up what happened. Bailiff, please escort Miss Tudor to the witness stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for... Oh, God. This is going to be hell for me. Because I'm about to have to switch quickly back and forth between a Scottish and an Irish accent. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the courtroom. This is probably Rick's first time testifying in a courtroom. I hope she'll be okay. As if I need such introductions, but allow me to indulge you all. Oh lord, is she seriously doing this here? I am Master Rick Tudor, Dark Lord of Oronox, High Archmage of the Cadmean Flames, and business proprietor of Sweet Confections. I see, I was not aware we were in the presence of such a renowned individual. Wait, does he actually believe her? Your Honor, Master Rick Tudor is the owner of a local cafe in Oronox. But isn't she also a High Archmage? I am? No, she really isn't. Tyrion, you're ruining my flow. Yeah, stop ruining her flow, Tyrion. You say that your flow is the most disrupted right now. Anyways, Miss Tudor, you were at the Oronox refinery on the night of the accident. You witnessed the moment the victim fell off the walkway, am I correct? Yes, that's right. According to your statement, you ran up to Morrison after you saw Justin fall off the walkway. The problem is that there's a contradiction between both of your testimonies. There's a contradiction? Morrison testified that he didn't see the victim fall into the vat until after you approached him. This wouldn't make sense, though. You saw the victim fall off the walkway before you ran up to Morrison. Morrison couldn't have possibly seen the victim fall again after that. Oh, I think I see what happened. You do? I think you're misunderstanding what I said before. I misunderstood you. If that's true, could you please testify to the court exactly what happened? Please include every detail you can remember. Sure. I was at the refinery when I heard a strange sound from the walkway. How? When I looked to see what it was, I saw that Justin had tumbled over the guardrail, but he hadn't fallen into the vat yet. I saw him barely hanging onto the edge of the platform. I didn't know how to get to the walkway from there, so I looked for the help of the guards. Looked for help on the grounds and found Mr. Morrison. He must have seen Justin lose his grip of the ledge and fall into the vat after that. So the victim didn't immediately fall into the vat. He was hanging onto the edge of the walkway. That would explain how Mr. Morrison saw the victim fall into the vat after Miss Tudor saw him fall into the walkway. In any case, Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. How did you hear anything? And it was apparently too loud. Objection! Nope, okay. Apparently that's not it. What kind of sound did you hear? I'm not quite sure. If I had to guess, I'd say it sounded like the sound of metal hitting metal. Metal hitting metal. The refinery walkway is made of metal, so perhaps the sound you heard was something metallic colliding with the walkway? Did something shake the walkway and make Justin lose his balance? He was hanging onto the ledge. Was there anyone around to help him back up? I didn't see anyone around, but I really wasn't paying attention to that. I was just focused on saving him before he fell. I assumed that if anyone was nearby, they'd immediately try to help him. So, found Mr. Morrison. Did you also see this moment? No, I didn't. I was so busy trying to talk to Mr. Morrison that I didn't see it. I didn't even know what had happened until after they shut down the machines. If only Rick had seen the moment that Justin fell off, too. He would have been able to compare his statement with the ones he got from Morrison and asked her. He'll just need to focus on other parts of her testimony. Rika's testimony is a bit different from the statement she gave us earlier. Looking back on it, I should have asked her for more details. I was so focused on matching details with Morrison and Astor, I didn't probe her further. But now that we have a full testimony of what she saw happen, you can compare it with what Morrison and Astor saw. Alright, I need to run to the bathroom real quick. So, anyone in chat, go ahead and, if you need to get some water, go ahead and do that. Cycle your fluids. And we'll be right back to figure out what's going on with this murder. Well, howdy everyone. Alright. So we need to compare her statement with Astrid Morrison. Just pointing with the walkways. They looked there. I saw a figure lean on a guardrail though. No more piss time. Piss time is over. Over. She said over, didn't she? Rika, you said the victim tumbled over the guardrail, as in he was thrown over it. Yes, that's right. What? Did you see the moment that the guardrail broke? No, I didn't. I already told you that, didn't I? But you did see the moment that Justin fell off of the walkway. And in that moment, did you see Justin break the guardrail? No, like I told you, I didn't see the moment the guardrail broke. But that's the thing, Rika. According to Morrison, Justin Way broke the guardrail as he fell into the vat. More specifically, he said that Justin was standing on the walkway when this happened. What? According to the prosecution, Justin Way leaned on a faulty guardrail and broke it, falling into the vat. But that's not what you saw, was it, Rika? No, I saw him tumble over the guardrail. I'm afraid I don't see the importance of this, Mr. Cuthbert. Are you accusing the witness of perjury? There's definitely something going on here, but what? Unless Rika's a mage, you don't want to suspect her, but you need to consider every possibility. What's happening here? They could both be lying. If that were true, then you have nothing to go on. Anyway, it's unlikely they would both give false and conflicting testimonies. Are they both telling the truth? They're both telling the truth, you guess. But how does that make sense? Okay, think through this. If we assume that Rika and Morrison are telling the truth, you need to remember the exact order of events. First, Rika saw Justin go up the walkway. I looked to see what it was. I saw Justin had tumbled over the guardrail. But he hadn't fallen into the vat yet. I saw him barely hanging onto the edge of the platform. She saw Justin fall over the guardrail off the walkway. Justin was able to grab onto the walkway's ledge. That's when Master Rika went to look for help. This is when she ran into Morrison and asked her. So Rika came running towards us. She's trying to tell us something, but damn machines were too loud for us to hear her. She pointed at the walkway, and that's when we saw someone fall into the vat. By the time we could get them to stop the machines, it was too late. Then there's Aster's account of events. Did you see the expression on his face? He might have been unconscious. I'm afraid I didn't see anything on his face. It was much too dark to make out his features. Wait, you didn't actually see his face? How did you know it was actually him that fell in? Well, who else could it have been? Aster and Morrison couldn't see Justin's face. That one detail of their testimonies never sat right with you. But you dismissed your suspicions. They found Justin's body in the vat, after all. You know for a fact that he fell into a vat, but you never considered one other possibility. Another person fell in. Another person? Is that really possible? But it's the only thing that makes sense. It also explains how Rika, Morrison, and Aster all saw someone fall off the walkway at different times. But then who is the second person? You don't have a choice. Even if you don't know all the facts, there's only one conclusion you can draw. I think you've had quite enough time to deliberate, Mr. Cuthbert. Are you accusing the witness or not? I'm not accusing the witness of perjury, Your Honor. Both Miss Tudor and Mr. Morrison's testimonies appear to contradict each other, but they're both telling the truth. Please enlighten us, Mr. Cuthbert. How could both their testimonies possibly be true? Well, I think there's only one possible explanation. Both Miss Tudor and Mr. Morrison saw someone fall off the walkway. But the person that Miss Tudor saw and the person that Mr. Morrison saw were two different people. Are you serious, Mr. Cuthbert? Do you honestly think some random person fell into the vat moments after Justin Way fell in? It's the only conclusion that makes sense, Miss Steelman. Miss Tudor knew the victim and recognized him. That's how she was able to confirm that it was him that fell into the vat. However, Mr. Morrison and his companion did not know the victim personally. They could barely make out his features. They only assumed it was him after learning that he fell in. Please, it's far more likely that Miss Tudor is simply mistaken about what she saw. What? No, I'm sure I saw Justin tumble over the guardrail. Let's not forget Miss Tudor's allegiances. As beneficiary of the Dracogen Trading Company, she has every reason to confound this case in the defendant's favour. That's not... That's enough. This is a civil case, Mr. Cuthbert, not some murder mystery for you to throw wild theories towards. This was clearly an accident. Looks like you don't have a choice. You're going to have to use your trump card. One piece of evidence that implies this wasn't a simple accident. Are you sure about that, Your Honor? What? Justin Way's death was reported as an unfortunate accident. As a result, the city guard put minimal resources into their investigation. More specifically, there was no reason to call in the Arcane Inquisition. What are you talking about now? Why would the Inquisition be? Are you saying that, unlike the Ornac City Guard, I have a mage capable of casting Detect Magic? My bodyguard, Celeste McCoy, scanned the crime scene for magical traces, and she found traces of transmutation on the broken guardrail. Traces of magic were found at the crime scene, but that would make this a potential homicide, Your Honor. This is ridiculous. The accident took place within an arcane refinery. Those traces could have easily come from the purification process. Miss Steeland, these traces were found only on the guardrails that Justin broke. We didn't find them anywhere else. We can't be certain of what happened, but it's clear that a mage used magic near the scene of the accident. Foul play may have been involved. So my theory of another person falling into the vat is entirely possible. My client is not at fault for the guardrail breaking. Considering this shocking revelation, there's so much we do not know about Justin Way's death. With that said, I have no choice but to suspend the trial of Von Sanctus versus Dracogen. I had a feeling this would happen. Just like your other cases, the court won't pass a verdict unless a culprit is found. The court will give the Arcane Inquisition time to investigate the scene and these supposed magical traces. We will resume the trial in 2 days' time. Court is adjourned. Well, at least we survived the first day. It kind of feels like we're back to square one. Yeah. The Inquisition will get involved. They know that magic played a role in what happened. If you want them to dismiss the case against Dracogen, you're going to have to find out exactly what happened, if that's even possible. Hey, are you okay? You feel a headache coming on. Yeah, I think I'm just tired. Hell, this day has been exhausting. It's pretty late. Should we just head back to the inn and continue the investigation tomorrow? No, I want to take another look at the refinery before the Inquisition gets there. Throbbing pain in your skull seems to disagree with you doing that. Yeah, no, we're heading back to the inn. I'm fine. Really. Tyrion, I know you're anxious about the trial, but you need to get some rest. Celeste, it's fine. It's not. You're going to work yourself. Would you just stay out of my way? Again, your voice came out louder than you meant for it to. Fine. Whatever. Do what you want. It's this damn city. Being back here is really getting to you. It's all the more reason to get through this trial as soon as possible. The soreness in your head doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Perhaps she's right. You'll be better off investigating the scene after some rest. As much as I really want to keep going, this is probably a good place to call it for tonight. We've spent a little under 2 hours on this tonight. Based on previous ones, this is probably going to take at least 2 more hours. And I can't finish that tonight. Yeah, we'll go a bit longer. Another nightmare overtakes your sleep. You clutch the note tightly in your hands as you read it. I'm sorry, Tyrion. There were so many things that I wanted to tell you. So many things that I wanted to show you. But I'm afraid that I can't do that now. I need you to be strong now. This world is bleak, merciless, and unforgiving. But I've seen you. I know how bright the light within you is. Use my eyes. Peer beyond the divine gate as I once did. Use it to reclaim the future. Her eyes? I don't understand. Doesn't matter. All you have to do is stop the execution. If you can just distract the knights long enough, you can save her and run away. You'll have to abandon your home, but at least she'll still be with you. As you try to sprint toward the gallows, a knight grabs your arm and pulls you back. Hey kid, you can't cross this point. Hey, stop that! You fruitlessly try to break his grip by striking him with your bare hands, but he barely feels anything through his armor. You continue delivering blow after blow to him, but it does nothing. Your knuckles start to bleed. Irritated by your behavior, the knight pins you to the ground. Damn kid. You desperately struggle against him to no avail. From this position, you have no choice but to watch what's happening. Wait! Stop! You make eye contact with your mother one last time. Her body goes limp. You stare blankly at the hanging body. No, this isn't... Mom? You clutch her note tightly in your hand. You feel a comforting yet fleeting warmth from it. Mom! Tyrion? Celeste, I snap back awake. It was another nightmare. You notice that tears are streaming down your face. You quickly try to bring up your sleeve to wipe them away, but you realize that Celeste is firmly gripping your hand. But why are you... sorry. You were shouting in your sleep, but you seemed to calm down a little whenever I held your hand. I got scared. Tuned in and just heard Mom with so much panic. I got scared. Forgive me, I was acting. You seemed to calm down a little whenever I held your hand. So I've been doing that. Oh. Tyrion, are you okay? You're not. You've been acting weird since we arrived in Oranax. It's nothing. It's not nothing. Does it have something to do with your mother? For the past 2 nights you've been calling out for her in your sleep. Please, just talk to me. I'm your friend, aren't I? You never even realized it. You didn't have many people in your life after you left Oranax. You only had Miss Tamor, and she never wanted to talk about what happened. But Celeste, she's been there since you started your career. Of course she's your friend. It all happened a long time ago. We lived here together in that old house. My mother was a merchant and a mage. Your mother was a mage? But I guess the gift of magic skipped my generation. I could never use it. About 10 years ago, my mother's business partner was found murdered, and they found traces of magic at the crime scene. They thought your mom did it. Miss Tamora was my mother's defense attorney for the trial. She did everything she could to get her acquitted, but she could never find the real culprit. They found her guilty of first-degree murder. I tried to stop her execution, but... Tyrion... I'm sorry, Celeste. What? Coming back here has brought back so many memories. I thought that I'd moved on from what happened. If I could just keep saving people as an attorney, then maybe I could put all of this behind me. But I'm back in Oranax, and those feelings are still so fresh in my mind. It's like I'm still the same powerless child from 10 years ago. I know I've been taking that out on you. I'm really sorry. Don't be, I get it. I know what it's like to lose someone like that. She does, doesn't she? When my dad was murdered, you were there for me. If it weren't for you, I would have still believed that he died hating me. Celeste slowly clasps your hand within hers again. It feels warm and comforting. Has this been the warmth you've been feeling for the last few nights? So just let me be here for you. You can feel yourself dozing off. You have to snap yourself back awake. Sorry, the last few days have been a little tiring. It's okay. Just focus on falling asleep. I'll stay with you for as long as you need me to. You're also feeling pretty tired, though. I'll just rest my eyes a bit. For the first time since you arrived in Oranax, you finally receive a good night's rest. You wake up the next morning feeling well rested. You feel almost a little too rested. You feel really reluctant to leave the comfort of your bed. Celeste, are you there? Your hand feels warm. Oh. You can feel your heart stop. Celeste? What do you want? Her eyes slowly open as she wakes from her equally restful sleep. She drowsily scans her surroundings. You both dart out of the bed. So, you seem to be doing better. You're okay, right? Yeah, thank you for last night. Poor phrasing! /NX! Hello, are you there, Mr. Cuthbert? What the hell? Your soul nearly jumps out of your body. You suddenly hear Aster's voice, and it's extremely loud. You look around to see where he is, but he's nowhere to be found. Aster? Thank the Scaled Lord, I've finally gotten through to you two. What? Where are you? I'm using a spell to speak with you right now. I apologize for contacting you in this manner, but I was worried that something might have happened to you two. I'm picking wonderful times to tune in tonight. Right, of course. Anyways, what do you want at this time of day? This time of day? Mr. Cuthbert, it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. What? 3 p.m.? You missed the entire morning. I hope everything's okay. Did something happen? No, everything's okay. Anyways, if it's already this late, we should head over to the refinery. Yes, the investigation! Let's do that, immediately! Sus immediately power walks out of the room. You quickly follow after. If you're heading to the refinery, do you mind if I meet with you two? There's something that I'd like to ask you. Sure. Wonderful! I'll see you at the town square! You quickly meet Aster in the town square while you walk to the refinery. You and Celeste walk to your destination with a purpose. A little too much purpose. It's almost as if you're both trying to distract yourselves from something. Every time you make eye contact with Celeste, she quickly glances away. Things are a little awkward, but you much prefer this over the tense mood between you two yesterday. Anyways, Aster, what was that spell you used earlier? It let you speak to us without being there. Oh, that was a conjuration spell. It's called Send Message. Just feel a bit uneasy that you can just contact us out of the blue like that. More importantly, you're a little worried about what he might have seen. Don't worry, the spell is perfectly harmless. I can give you the parameters if you'd like. Caster project their voice to communicate with the target. Anyone within a 30-foot radius of the target can hear the caster's voice. The caster can also hear sounds close to the target, allowing for two-way communication. The target must be a person known to the caster. The person must also be conscious, otherwise the spell will fail. Alternatively, the target can be an object that is attuned to the caster's magic. Looks like it only facilitates communication. You definitely didn't see the embarrassing state that you two were in. By the way, I'm not trying to be rude, but why are you following us? Oh, yes! I was still trying to think of a proper method to ask you, but you both seem to be on edge at the moment. What did you want to ask us? You already told me about the traces of transmutation of the refinery, but the trial yesterday really highlighted the significance of that. I can't simply stand by if I was witness to a murder. And, may I join you on your investigation? Questioning his motives for a variety of reasons. He was the only other mage that was at the scene of the crime. And between him and Rika, you definitely trust Rika more. Alright, I see no reason why not. Celeste shoots you a concerned look. You suddenly gesture for her to keep an eye on Aster. She nods in acknowledgement. Aster is your prime suspect right now, and he has to be aware of that. But if you keep him close to you, you might catch some distant thoughts through the eye. You arrive at the refinery and see that several knights from the Inquisition have already arrived. We glance at the damaged walkway and see Commander White there with a few of his knights. He seems to notice you too, but he only pays you a passing glance. Oh, Mr. Cuthbert, I've been waiting for you for quite a while, may I add. Right. Sorry about that. I suppose you have your reasons, and you've more than proven yourself worthy of my trust. Although, Dracogen gives Aster a suspicious side glance. He seems to have come to the same conclusion you did. Well, you've given me little reason to doubt your judgment. I'll leave the investigation in your capable hands. Speaking of the investigation, where should we start first? Now that we've gotten the Inquisition involved, we might be able to learn more about the magical traces of the crime scene. Look at Commander White, who's inspecting the walkway. It's probably your best bet for getting more information about the investigation. I'm quite pleased with your work during the trial. I'm glad I put my trust in you. Thank you, but we're still a long way from getting your case dismissed. And showing the possibility of a murder definitely made things more complicated. I see no reason to blame yourself. You merely played the cards you were dealt. Honestly, I'm still trying to make sense of what happened. Do you have any idea who the second victim might be? I have no idea, but all of my other employees are accounted for. I doubt it was anyone who worked for me. But then who was it? To be perfectly honest, I'm a little concerned with how many unauthorized people were there that day. He has a point. It seems strange that Justin, Rika, and Morrison were all there. Chemicals. Item solve 2 bodies. Power box. I think this is all stuff we already have.
Repario Arcanum.
Yep. Alright, to the walkway. Ah, it's you two. And who's this? Wait, the hell? Commander, please don't. What the hell are you two doing with the Crown Prince? Fucking called it! Fucking called it! What? It appears that my cover has been blown, as they say. Did he just say you're the Crown Prince? Yes, my full name is Aster de Wivengard IV, heir to the throne of Wivengard. This entire time you've been speaking to the heir to the throne? I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. Sorry, Your Majesty. Please, none of that. I would much prefer if you all continue to call me Aster. No, I could never. I've never seen the commander this flustered before. Why did you find the need to hide this from us? I didn't want you to think less of me. I admire your work, Mr. Cuthbert, which is why I was afraid you wouldn't speak with me if you knew the truth. In a way, he was correct to assume that. As a member of the royal family, he represents everything that you and Miss Tamora are fighting against. But he does look like a sincere and genuine person. The very least, you haven't seen anything incriminating through the eye of Horus. Anyways, this complicates things greatly. Aster is your primary suspect, so if he did commit the murder, you would have to implicate a member of the royal family. A nobleman is one thing, but would it even be possible to convict the crown prince? Well, no matter what, you won't stop seeking justice. Doesn't matter who you're facing, be they man, king, or god. Prince aside, he came here to talk to the commander about his investigation. Since Aster is accompanying you, he might be more inclined to share details with you. The liquid is so volatile, how are you able to take things out of the vat? Oh, the liquid isn't volatile anymore. When the harbour master and I reported what we saw, the workers poured some sort of alchemical solution into the vat. Yeah, according to them, the solutions neutralize the evocation magic in those chemicals. From what I hear, the magical liquid in these vats is usually blue. The solution they poured in turned it green. Yes, unfortunately it was too late. By the time they'd neutralized the liquid, Justin's body had already mostly dissolved. If they hadn't neutralized it so quickly, we probably wouldn't have found anything from the victim. Interesting. It's the broken guardrail. The entire case hinges on finding out when and how this railing broke. If Justin Way didn't break the guardrail, then who did?
Repario Arcanum.
Alright, magical traces are only detectable for 48 hours after a spell is cast. Alright. I'm surprised the Inquisition is even here. I thought you were all busy investigating Aster's missing ship. What, you know about that? Commander glances nervously at Aster. We wanted more of our people there, but Lady Steelwind insisted we focus on the Dracogen case. As you should. I would much rather have you find justice for Justin Way. That's far more important than looking for some musty old ship. Right. Is this kid for real? Have you discovered anything about the magical traces here? I did take a look at it. It's definitely suspicious. The only rails with magical traces on them are these. The fact we can still see them means they were left within the last 48 hours. It's looking pretty likely that someone used transmutation on these rails that night. Still doesn't make sense, though. Why would someone weaken these rails specifically? I have no idea. I'm just as confused as you are. Oh, I think I accidentally did a Tyrion line in my Aurum voice. If this really is foul play, then someone knew Justin or some other person would be in this exact place. Has the Inquisition not found any evidence to prove my theory? About a second person falling into the vat? Sorry, kid, but it ain't that simple. The body that Justin fella sort of dissolved. It's quite gruesome. If another person had fallen in, their body would dissolve too. But we could only find some bone fragments, blood, and a lot of metallic shards. Have you been able to use divination magic to identify the bone fragments? Yep. Ones we found all belonged to Justin Way. No signs of bones from another person. There wasn't any evidence of another person falling in? Could your theory have been incorrect then? Are you sure that you and Are you sure that you and Morrison saw a person fall into the vat, Aster? I definitely saw someone fall off the walkway and break the quad rails. Although thinking back on it, I didn't recognize who exactly that person was. The harbour master and I were pretty far away, and it wasn't well lit. Do you think the second victim's body fully dissolved? That might explain why we can't find any bone matter from them. No, if my theory is correct, the second victim fell in minutes after Justin fell. It wouldn't make sense if that person's body fully dissolved before Justin's. But why can't you find any bone matter of the second person? Either way, Dracogen might want to hear about this. If liquid is so volatile... I already got this information from my investigation. I still can't believe you've been the crown prince this entire time. I wasn't trying to deceive you, I was just worried you might treat me differently if you knew the truth. Right. Should I call Steelwind over here for you? She'll probably want to see you. No, I think it would be best if you didn't. Oh, I remember now. If you're the crown prince, that makes Prosecutor Steelwind your fiancé. Right. Lady Frigga mentioned that during the Nightgrave case. That's why the name Aster sounded so familiar. You saw it in her thoughts. That Miriam. She's caused me so much trouble by publicly revealing my marriage to Lady Steelwind. I had hoped to keep it a secret for much longer. Where is Prosecutor Steelwind, anyways? She always investigates the crime scenes herself. Said she wanted to investigate the disappearing ship personally. She seems really hell-bent on finding the people responsible. They did attempt to kidnap the Crown Prince, after all. Oh, she must really care about you, Aster. No, I highly doubt that. It's sad. What? Our marriage was arranged by our parents well before we were born. She had no say in the matter, and I know that she only tolerates me for the good of our kingdom. I'm sure she still cares about you. No, I can tell by the way she behaves around me. Her hands quiver with rage, and she can't even bear to look at me when I speak to her. I can't believe she even treats the Crown Prince like that. She may be my fiancé, but our marriage is purely political. She endures so much because of her name. Guess you aristocrats have your own share of problems. Oof. Dracogen, we spoke with the Inquisition about what they found in the vat. They could only find bone matter belonging to Justin. Well, that and several metallic shards. Can't be right. I know, I was hoping to find some hard evidence to prove my theory. I'll have to find another approach to prove it. No, that's not what I meant. There shouldn't be any solid matter in those vats. Are you talking about the metallic shards? I just assumed those were some kind of magical byproduct. No, the refinement process requires that everything in the vat remains a liquid. Solid matter would absorb the liquid's magical properties and taint the entire batch. I return to say Goobnite. Goobnite, Tej. So those metal shards weren't supposed to be in there. Do you think they came from the broken pieces of the railing? Possibly. You'll probably want to double check with the commander to make sure. But this is definitely Shane. Goobnite, Zick. I'm making piss. From what Dracogen said, there shouldn't have been any solid matter in those vats. We've already confirmed that the bone matter that came from found Justin's body. But that leaves another question. How did the metallic shards appear in the vat? Where did the metallic shards come from? A metal object was thrown into the vat? A metal object was thrown into the vat. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Whatever that object was, it probably dissolved into the shards that Orem found. That's the thing, though. What should the magical liquid have done to the object? The magical liquid in the vat was extremely volatile. It was destructive enough to reduce an entire human body to a few shards of bone. The vat liquid should have completely destroyed the metal object. The object would have been completely destroyed. We shouldn't have found any metal shards in the first place. Right, but we did find them. How do you explain that? Justin Wayne fell into the vat shortly before the vat liquid was neutralized shortly after the accident was reported. When Astor and Morrison reported the accident, the workers immediately neutralized the liquid's magic. They did this to attempt to save Justin, but it would have also stopped the liquid from destroying anything else within the vat. So that's why we found those metal shards. And whatever that metal object was only partially destroyed. It means if it fell into the vat around the time Justin fell into the vat. If it fell a while before the accident, it would have dissolved completely. And if it fell after the accident, it wouldn't have dissolved at all. Furthermore, whatever that object was, it was probably as large as Justin. Do you think the metal object had something to do with the second victim? Maybe they were holding it when they fell in. I'm not sure, but it's definitely possible. Was it an arcane construct? The noble family here manufactures arcane constructs. Those shards might help us identify the second victim, if that person even exists. Alright. Commander White, you mentioned that you found several metallic shards in the vat. Do you mind if we take a look at them? Sure. Just not getting any broad ideas about taking anything. Also want to avoid touching them with your bare hands. Liquid's neutralized, but definitely ain't good for your skin. Commander motions one of the Inquisition Knights. After a few moments, he brings back a large barrel filled with metallic shards. What? There were that many? What could have possibly fallen into the vat? Well, I guess we should get started. Spend some time closely inspecting the metallic shards of Celeste. The shards are only the size of small rocks, and it's difficult to find any discerning features. Any luck on your end? No, I haven't found... Celeste? I think I found something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, though. Celeste pulls out a metallic shard with some sort of engraving on it. Unlike the other shards, this one looks far less damaged. The engraving on it looks like some sort of crest. That's the that's the crest of House Von Sanctus. Isn't he the noble that's charging Dracogen? Well, I doubt that Lord Von Sanctus was the second victim. Aster, do you know who would have a house emblem like this? Normally, only the Lord's retainers would have emblems of his house. Well, I doubt that Justin was the one who had this in his possession. Do you think one of Von Sanctus' retainers fell into the vat that night? It's definitely possible, but if that did happen, why haven't we heard about it? Lord Von Sanctus would have the resources to keep something like that out of the public eye. The only way to know for sure would be to ask him ourselves, but even if we could talk to him, he would never cooperate with us. Oh, even if he could... Sorry, that was me. Someone of his station would have no trouble meeting with Lord Von Sanctus. An idea begins to form in your mind. Unless... What is it, Mr. Cuthbert? Asked her, do you think you could help us interrogate Lord Von Sanctus? Really? You need my help? In this instance, it'd be very difficult to speak to him by ourselves. But as the Crown Prince, he'd be much more inclined to speak with you. Of course, I'd be happy to help! You might be overplaying your hand by utilizing Aster this way. You're still wary of the Prince, especially since he was one of the few mages at the scene. Will this really work, though? It's not ideal, but it's the only lead we have so far. But it still bothers you. Why haven't you found any bone matter from a second person? Maybe you're overthinking it. You should pursue every lead and see where it takes you. And to do that, you need to find out where Lord Von Sanctus is. To the manor. So this is Von Sanctus' house. It'd be more appropriate to call this building a palace rather than a house. What's that smell? As you get further into the manor, you hit with a very pungent and sour odor. Almost burns the interior of your nostrils every time you inhale. Well, we're here. Look around the manor and don't see anyone nearby. Looks like Lord Sanctus isn't home at this moment. Perhaps we should try looking somewhere else. I'd like to take a look around here. Probably best not to take such risks. Alright, to the town square. We mustn't let such idealistic notions throw our nation into chaos. Arrive at the town square and see with Lord Von Sanctus speaking to several spectators from a podium. There's Lord Von Sanctus. Appears to be giving some sort of speech. You do your best to remain hidden from his view while you listen in. Please understand, the actions of the nobility seem callous. However, we only have your best interests at heart. This controversy with the Dracogen Trading Company is just one of the many examples. These so-called unions that men like him support may seem appealing, but they only obfuscate and hinder the nobility from protecting the working class. Men like Stefanik Dracogen are merely charlatans. They only seek financial gain by strong-arming your true benefactors. True benefactors? What a joke. I knew that Von Sanctus was wary of Dracogen, but I never expected him to be this zealous about getting rid of him. I think it's less about Dracogen specifically and more about what he represents. What do you mean? The Dracogen Trading Company has presented tangible proof that its policies are both effective and profitable. Even businesses that have no affiliation with him have started following his example. Von Sanctus is merely a relic of the past, and I think he knows his archaic ideals won't survive in this landscape. I can only hope that our grand kingdom recognizes the dangers I have. Pompous noble leaves the podium as citizens ponder his words. What a load of garbage. It's obvious Von Sanctus knows his days are numbered. But look what happened. We let the common folk set their own standards and a young man died. I guess you have a point there. I saw Von Sanctus get into a carriage shortly after his speech. He appears to be heading back to his manor. Anyways, we saw Von Sanctus heading back here. We should be able to speak with him soon. Wait, Tyrion isn't going to recognize us? We can't really avoid that if we want to question him. We need to speak with him directly. But even a noble like him will have to ask civilly with the Crown Prince present. You mean like how you civilly embarrassed and insulted him a few days ago? Right, you completely forgot about the chess tournament. Well, it's not as if we can hide our identities from him. I faced him in the chess tournament, and I'm Dracogen's attorney. He knows what we look like. What do we look like? Wait, that's it! What? Lucio! Wait, what are you? Wow, it's quite impressive, Celeste. Right? I've been practicing that one. What are you two talking about? I think you should see for yourself. Prince gestures toward a nearby mirror in the hallway. You reluctantly approach it. Just what did Celeste do to you? What? Why do I look like Riss Rudolph? It looks great, right? Eris taught that one to me. Bad vibes, bad vibes. Do you honestly expect him to fall for this? He's probably a powerful mage. I'll see right through this. Are you telling me the Crown Prince is here? Why didn't you notify me sooner? You hear Von Sanctus shouting at his attendant from down the hallway. He seems to be quickly heading this way. Uh-oh. Might want to disguise yourself as well, Celeste. Don't encourage her. This is extremely illegal. Right, look, you should just dispel this ridiculous disguise and he's almost here. I can't think of anyone. Terribly sorry for keeping your highness waiting. Lucio. It's gonna be Arya. It's gonna be fucking Arya. What was that? Oh, what are you talking about? Could have sworn that I heard something. Called it. I didn't hear anything either. You must be imagining things. Scaled Lord help us of all the people she could have chosen. At least she's able to... Okay, she's able to mimic her voice well. Lady Steelwind, I wasn't expecting you until much later. Well, I do not answer to you. I shall do as I shall please. Yes, I suppose you have a habit of doing that. Surprisingly, it doesn't look like he's seen through your disguises. He must have other things on his mind if his guard is down like this. Anyways, Lord Von Sanctus, pardon the abrupt intrusion. I came by to pay my respects. I am honored by your majesty's presence. Unfortunately, I'm quite busy with administrative matters at the moment. Too busy to show hospitality to the heir to the throne. Oh, I wasn't. I suppose I have some time to speak with you. Conditions aren't ideal, but at least you have Von Sanctus here with you. You should let Prince Aster make small talk with him for a bit. After that, you can subtly bring up the Von Sanctus crest you found in the vat. I heard about the charges that you've brought against the Dracogen Trading Company. Forgive my bluntness, but is everything well with your estate? Oh, that! I am simply cleaning house, nothing more. I've dealt with plenty of men like Dracogen before, and this time will be no different. I understand he may be taking business away from you, but does that really warrant you taking such drastic measures? It's not just about his business, it's these ideas he's putting into people's heads. He's allowed these unions to continue existing, and other businesses are following his example. It's absolutely absurd. It's as if the entire world has gone mad. I see. Our society only functions when the lower class knows their place. How do I click and... If that's how our society functions, then perhaps it's flawed. You're still young, Prince Aster. These righteous ideals may sound appealing, but they are the path to disorder. The common folk do not care about the well-being of our kingdom as a whole. They only care about themselves individually. If we allow them to become empowered, they will use that power selfishly. It's up to the upper class to maintain order. I see. By the way, I'm surprised you're representing Lord Von Sanctus, Lady Sealwind. Right. What is he doing? It's already hard enough to maintain this ruse. I knew you'd recently become a prosecutor, but I never imagined you'd represent a noble. Don't get ahead of yourself, Aster. What does that even mean? Let's not be coy, Lady Sealwind. If you must know, your majesty, how Sealwind and I came to an arrangement. The fair lady is so keen on wasting her talents on civil work. Given that, I might as well utilize her to my benefit. Do not speak to her like that. I meant no disrespect, but rest assured this is only temporary. I see, so you have an arrangement with Lucio Sealwind. It seems that Aster is collecting his own information. By the way, Lord Von Sanctus, have any of our attendants gone missing lately? It's an oddly suspicious question, but no, all of my attendants are accounted for. I don't see any distant thoughts from the eye, but he could be unconsciously shielding himself from it. I must ask, why would you ask such a question? You see, I actually found a discarded trinket while walking around the city. It had the crest of House Von Sanctus on it. I was worried that something unsavory might have happened to one of your people. I see. I suppose you must be on edge after what happened to your ship. However, items with the Von Sanctus crests are quite common nowadays. Really? The item you found must have been a product produced by Von Sanctus Industries. An item produced by Von Sanctus Industries. So the Von Sanctus crest is on some of the items produced by our company. Not just some of the items. The Von Sanctus crest is engraved on every product created by Von Sanctus Industries. As a result, people have come to associate the quality of our products with the quality of House Von Sanctus. Or at least they did until hacks like Dracogen came out of the woodwork. So in other words, it's just branding. What type of products does Von Sanctus Industries produce? We used to produce magical accessories for mages, but now we produce all manner of products. As the head of commerce in our kingdom, we've diversified our holdings. Whew. That means the metal shard could have come from anything. Sign of questioning led to a dead end. Damn it, is it really impossible to identify where that shard came from? Do you sell your products to the Dracogen Trading Company? Yes, of course I do. Despite my misgivings with Dracogen, it would be foolish of me if I didn't do business with him. It means there are Von Sanctus products in the Arcane Refinery. You're called Von Sanctus Industries, after all. It's true, the metal shard could have been from industrial too. Just what are you implying, Lady Sealwind? Twinge of nervousness to the guy. Does he know something? Why would he get so defensive over a question like that? Was there a Von Sanctus project in the refinery on the night of the murder? She misspoke and said murder instead of accident, but that is evoking a reaction. Answer the question, Von. Celeste attempts to loudly slam the tip of her cane on the ground, only to realize her cane isn't actually real. She loses her balance and tips over a nearby vase, which shatters on the ground, creating a mess of broken shards of water. Lady Sealwind, are you okay? Celeste immediately regains her balance and tries to act as if nothing happened. I'm not paying for that. Ah! Lord Von Sanctus completely loses composure and recoils at the side of the broken vase. Construct, I require your assistance. Acknowledged. In response to Von Sanctus' call, an arcane construct walks from a nearby closet. Construct, clean up this mess at once! He seems very disturbed by the mess. Is he some sort of clean freak? Acknowledged. Construct, I wonder if these still talk in the voice of the dead professor. Begins quickly picking up shards of the broken vase. You own an arcane construct? I do. Von Sanctus Industries is the inventor of arcane constructs, after all. Right, you recall Celeste mentioning that earlier. Would you like one, Your Highness? My apologies, I'm not very interested in using artificery. Suit yourself. In any case, I'm afraid Lady Sealwind must be taking her leave now. What? Remember you said you could only accompany me for 1 hour. It's close to being 1 hour, right, Lady Sealwind? What are you Oh, right, 1 hour. It would definitely not be good for us to be here more than 1 hour. Oh, does this illusion only last for an hour? In the meantime, may I discuss some personal matters with you, Lord Von Sanctus? Of course I am at your disposal, your majesty. He raised an eyebrow at the prince. It seems he didn't come here just to help you, but you suppose you've gotten all the information you need out of Von Sanctus. It's time to move on to the next lead. That was embarrassing. Yeah, I was a bit too close for comfort. Well, at least no one saw through our disguises. Ah, are you an attendant here? Please notify Lord Von Sanctus that the real Arya Seal walks through the front door of the man just as you're about to exit. She immediately stops her tracks upon meeting her doppelganger. Up, Uriel. With one spell, Steelman dispels the illusions over you and Celeste. Upon seeing who you really are, she lets out an irritated sigh. Is impersonating the Steel and some kind of hobby for you, Miss McCoy? She looks really angry this time. No, there was a really good reason for us doing this. I guess you wanted to interrogate Von Sanctus without him knowing who you really were. No? Lying about your name is one matter, but impersonating a noble using magic is a serious crime. Tyrion, help please? Are you seriously going to have to defend her in court again? Quickly try to think of a way to defuse the situation. Oh, sorry for the wait, you two. I had to discuss... Oh, Lady Steelwind. Great. According to the Aster, Steelwind despises him. Knowing that he was a part of this will just make things worse. Your Majesty! She's happy. And surprised. What? Oh, I see you've dispelled their disguises. You knew about this. Aster steps between you and Steelwind. It seems he's trying to calm her down. For better or for worse, her attention is firmly focused on him. I'm terribly sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect you. No, that's not oi. Oi. He's really close. They pulled this ruse under my orders. Could you please look the other way just this once? Oh, okay. Thank you, Lady Steelwind. I won't forget this. Ah. We need to go. Well, that was certainly something. I'm sorry you two had to see that. What? As I said before, she absolutely detests me. You saw it, didn't you? She could barely look me in the eye. Oh my god. In any case, we're starting to run out of time. We should head back to the refinery. But we still don't know where the metal shard came from. From what Von Sanctus told us, I don't think we can find out exactly where it came from. If each of Von Sanctus' products has that crest, it could be any number of things. But hopefully Dracogen can help us narrow that list down. If it did come from some kind of industrial tool, he might be able to check if any of the refinery's tools are missing. Just hope he can provide you with some kind of lead. Alright. Again, Mr. Cuthbert, I hope you have good news. Well, actually, take some time to explain to Dracogen what you found during your investigation. You're still uncertain about the identity of the victim. Metal Shard is your best lead right now. Oh, I see. With that said, do you have any tools that you've purchased from Von Sanctus Industries? Do you? Personally sold me quite a few when I first arrived in the city. I even purchased the security system from the refinery building from him. Really? Did you purchase anything else from him? Well, he also tried to sell me some of those arcane constructs. Told me I could be the first person in Ornox to own such innovative technology. But I turned them down. Really? But they seem so useful. I don't feel comfortable trusting machines to handle the work here. These constructs require very specific instructions, and they lack common sense. That's true, and we saw how unreliable they could be during the Nightgrave case. Heavily emphasized how exclusive this deal would be for me. Looking back on it, he was probably trying to make me dependent on his services. Nadia's hitting you. Hey, thanks for the stream, Pucas. Loving the spooky setup. Thanks. I'm going to end stream as soon as I get done with this dialogue because it is also late for me. Yeah, I guess he made the right choice by refusing his offer. Anyways, have any of the tools from Von Sanctus Industries been reported missing? The Inquisition actually asked me the same question, so I took some time today to check my inventory. Why would the Inquisition ask him for that? Did Steel and come to the same conclusion you did? There was one tool unaccounted for. Really? What kind of tool was it? A rod of mending. It's a large tool that we use to repair damage on the machines. Tool for repairs. How large was it? Quite large, actually. It's called a rod, but it's more of a large cylindrical tool. It requires 2 people to properly carry and use it. Wait, a repair tool like that would use transmutation magic, right? That's right. What if the Rod of Mending was the thing that weakened the guardrail? Is that possible, Dracogen? Suppose that is possible, now that you mention it. I recall there being a way to reverse its effects. Never even considered that transmutation traces were left by an artificery tool. That does lift some suspicion off of Aster. Someone could have sabotaged the rail with the rod, and they might have thrown it into the vat to cover their tracks. But it didn't completely dissolve. That would mean that they threw the rod in close when Justin fell off the walkway. It can't be a coincidence that these two events happened so close to each other. We still have no idea who actually broke the guardrail. We didn't find a second body in the vat, and we don't have evidence that proves a second victim even exists. Feel as if we have more questions than answers at the moment. We've learned a few new facts about the case, though. The Inquisition has verified the traces of transmutation on the guardrail. Pertinent proof is still in the prosecution to prove that Dracogen is at fault. Even if Steelman has a proper explanation for that, I can counter her with the facts we've learned thus far. I just hope the trial goes as smoothly as you're describing. It rarely ever does, but knowing that would just needlessly stress him out. Regardless, I appreciate the work you've done thus far. I'll leave things in your very capable hands. Just hope you don't encounter any more curveballs tomorrow. Ah, perfect. Get to save our project. Alright. Well, no. Crap. You're not supposed to see that. Alright. Well, thanks for everyone for tuning in. I'm surprised we much less spooky stuff happening in Tyrion tonight. Getting more on the romance end of things between Aster and Steelwind and us and Celeste. So might be a little something going on there. Just maybe. But that's gonna do it for stream tonight. Glad to see that people are enjoying the spooky setup. It'll be here all month and possibly longer until I actually take it down, which I have a habit of leaving Halloween decorations up. But with that said, thanks for hanging out, everyone. If you've been hanging out and want to drop us a follow, we really appreciate those. Let you know whenever we go live. Next up on the planned list will be D-Boss on Tuesday. So, should be good. D-Boss is always a fun time. And hopefully we'll actually be doing D-Boss this week, as opposed to the bit of unplanned difference that we had last week. And then after that will be Tiptoe on Thursday, where Fred and I have no idea what we're doing, because we thought we'd be doing Lasso for a while, but that's not going to be happening. But if you want to find out what's going on, you can dick butt on shit. Okay, you can join our Discord there. Find out what's happening. Join in the conversation. Oh, I see. Haha. That's not very family friendly. Galactic nothing on this stream is family friendly. If you want to find all of our stream VODs, you can find those on our YouTube channel there. And if you just want the funny bits, you can find our clips channel. Oh, there's more than one clip on the channel. You can find our clips channel there. So, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Hope you all had a good night. And, yeah. Sorry, I thought I was going to think of something funny to say, but, all